You ought to declare that over your own life. Say, I believe that it's my time.
It's my time.
It's my time.
It's my time.
And I can feel it.
I can feel it.
Say, breakthroughs in the room.
Breakthroughs in the room.
It's yours if you want it. Anticipating.
Everybody up.
God's
All right, now
ready to move.
God's getting ready to move.
That's what he's getting ready to
Listen,
do,
you
y'all.
ought to
That's what he's
declare
getting
this
ready
over
to
your
do.
own life. Say it.
For I know
God, he's working a miracle just for me.
just for me.
And it's gonna be.
It's gonna be big.
Hey! Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about my future. Why? It's gonna be big, yeah.
And it's gonna be big.
I'm running into destiny, shouting into my promise. Why? God's gonna.
God's gonna open the windows of heaven.
Oh,
Wave your hands if you're about to do something big in your life.
We're wrong to contain it.
can't even try to explain it.
But it's gonna be big.
God is gonna blow your mind.
God is about to blow my mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God's gonna.
Open the windows of heaven.
Oh,
Pour me out a
you
blessing.
won't have room.
We're wrong to contain it. Won't even try to explain it.
Why?
But it's gonna be big.
God is about to blow your mind.
God is about to blow my mind.
Hey, and it's gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be big. It's gotta be big. Lord, let it be. Hey. My future is big. My destiny's big. My blessing is big. My promise is big. The new job will be big. My future is big. Lord, let it be big. And it's gonna be. Hey, God is about to blow your mind.
Blow my mind.
God's gonna.
God's gonna open the windows of heaven.
He's gonna pour.
Pour me out a blessing.
I won't have room.
Won't be wrong to contain it. Won't even try to explain it.
Why?
But it's gonna be big.
God's about to blow your mind.
God is about to blow my mind.
God bless you. It's gonna be.
And it's gonna be big.
Y'all remember that word today? All right, everybody can be seated, please. I would like to greet everybody and greet the people online. This is the first year we are on live, too. Give God some glory on that. Well, I want to first start off and welcome everyone to our third annual Women Empowerment Conference, where we are honored the unyielding spirit of women who shatter barriers and achieve remarkable success. We are thrilled you are joining us for this life-changing experience. Are you ready to unleash? Hey, talk to me. Are we ready? All right. I'm ready too. So, your inner power and unlock your limitless potential. As we celebrate empowerment, we draw inspiration from the visionary women who paved the way to us. I am committed to carrying forward their legacy by empowering others to realize their full potential. Our sunflower theme embodies the values of loyalty, devotion, and unwavering perseverance, symbolizing hope, joy, and the transformative power of collective growth. Thank you, ladies, for illuminating our path with your radiant presence and for being a beacon of inspiration and motivation. I would like to, so God was telling me that I am in a season where I need to honor people. So this is going to be, we have to first, he told me I needed to learn how to honor because one day somebody's going to honor me, but I need to know what it looks like. So the thing that we're changing this year, I am going to honor some women that played a very valid to society, to the community in my life. They say it takes a community to build you up, and that is so true. So the women that I'm proud, they have no idea this is coming. So if they look at me a little weird, y'all better have my back out there. So my mother, Rhonda Whitlock. We are honoring her today. We are honoring my godmother, Sister Paula Stein. We are also honoring Sister Carol Wilkins. She's an evangelist, a prayer warrior. And we are also my grandmother, Barbara Brown. She is 86 years old, and she looks like she's about 45. And the final person we are honoring is Sister Mother Payne. These ladies here they have been a beacon over my life. They have been a beacon over a lot of other women's lives. So I would like to thank them for what they've done. Also, too, I would like for you guys to come up and take an individual picture with the photographer. We're going to move on, but I want you guys to do that. And I want you guys to take a group picture. Tiffany, can you assist me with giving them their gifts? So can you give them a round of applause? This is theirs. Okay. It's 4 of them. Okay. If you guys will raise your hands, the women that I called out, Tiffany is going to run off the gifts. I got the one over here. We're getting a couple things done. I just want to it's very important we give people their flowers when they're here. Many people give them their flowers when they're gone. So these ladies deserve their flowers. So can we give them another round of applause? This is your flowers. Because I wouldn't be here without these women. These women is what carried me through. These women are praying for me. These women challenge me. These women tell me things I don't even ready to hear sometimes. But at the end of the day, they still got my back. So we are getting ready to start. Thank you for my media team. Miss Brittany, I'm a little extra. She told me it was my day today, so I can do what I like, so I love that. She should have never told me that. How is everybody feeling today? Is everybody ready? Well, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm hosting this event, but the way you came in is not the way you're going to leave. Okay, yep, she didn't come. So. She did, she here. Oh, okay. So we'll figure out. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany, can you come up again real quick? So Miss Tiffany is also going to be my MC with me. We're doing this together.
Amen. I love you.
She's going to get me later. All right, Brittany, we're ready.
Tiffany Monique Orr, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and raised right here in the Battle Creek, attended Battle Creek Public Schools and is an alumni of Battle Creek Central Go Bearcats. Tiffany attended Open Door Kojic as a child under Bishop Eugene McCoy and later moved to Bethlehem Kojic under Pastor Harrison Lamone Jr. Her passion for helping others extended to need of kids who were at risk and problematic. She worked for Parks and Rec after-school programs, several summer camps, as well as Star Commonwealth. She has 2 children, son Caleb and daughter Carrington, whom she dearly loves and adores, who helped her learn to simply love herself. You can catch Tiffany this up and coming summer with CNC, Sugar Shack. Stay tuned and always love thyself. Tiffany Monique Orr, born in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Can everybody welcome Miss Tiffany Orr?
Thank you, Kia. All right. I'm first. How y'all doing today? I see a lot of friends, a lot of family. Can I talk to y'all? That's all right if I talk to y'all? I have a question. Can you just stop that right there? Just throw it somewhere. It's all right. No. I have a question. Ask yourselves, what does it really mean to love yourself? What does that really, really mean? Does it mean wearing nice clothes because you feel like you want to look good? Does it mean like just doing for others? Does it mean doing more for yourself? What does it mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? I want to know those things. Ask yourself, do I love myself? What is love? Well, we all are taught, God is love, of course. But what is it really? What does it mean to you? Does it mean that hug from your mom and you might not see her tomorrow? Does it mean that last conversation with your best friend who needs to pick you up? What does it mean? Love thyself. I grew up here in Battle Creek, Michigan. Some of you know my parents, some of you don't. I was taught to always love myself. Which means always walk a certain walk, talk a certain walk. We in church, we're seen. We have to be this way, we have to be that way. We can't just be. Well, I went to a couple different churches here, and I learned a lot from both those churches. Both those pastors taught me a lot. They actually helped shape me and make me into the woman I am today. And for that, I'm appreciative. It took me becoming an adult. It took me becoming a grown woman. It took me becoming a mother until I learned how to love myself. Before I had my children, I couldn't identify with myself. I didn't know who I was. I just knew who everybody wanted me to be. I just knew what everybody thought I should look like, what I should sound like, how I should protect, because, I'm a nice size. So protection came along with the thing anyway. But I never knew how to love myself because I didn't know how to create boundaries. Whew. Boundaries. No, you say boundaries. Create those. Because if you don't, whew. When I became a woman and I had my kids and I started learning how to love myself, it didn't look like anything I thought it would look. It looked like being alone. It looked like being misunderstood. It looked like being fake. She don't go to that church no more. She must go over here. Now she over there. Then she play the drums. Don't she like girls? Don't she? It was so much to where I had to take a step back and say, who are you, Tiffany? Do you love yourself? What does love look like to you? I wasn't able to stand in front of a mirror and say, I love you. Easy, right? Get in the mirror, you get dressed, you're putting on your makeup, you're putting on your earrings. I love you, girl. It's not easy when you don't. So I went through a majority of my life not loving myself to the point it landed me in situations where those boundaries wasn't created, and I found myself pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring to where my cup was empty. Now I got this empty cup, and I'm running over here trying to get some. They close. I'm running over here trying to get some. They be back in an hour. So then, in that time I had to be by myself, I had to learn to pour into myself. I got it. Don't worry about it. God ain't done with me yet. So the more I begin to learn that loving myself simply means putting me first, that it wasn't selfish, and that loving myself means to love me, the good, the bad, and the stuff that needs to be worked on, the things that nobody knows about that you go to sleep with at night. Those things, looking inside yourself and learning who you really are. Why do you respond the way that you respond when somebody says certain things to you? They don't know you enough to be rude. They're not trying to be mean towards you. But why is it that you respond so nasty? Why do you look so mean? Because I used to always get that one. Girl, you look so mean. Why are you looking at me? You wouldn't know how I look if you was looking at yourself. Look at you. Huh? Love thyself. Good times, bad times. I had my son. He taught me, that was my first best friend. He taught me that mother's love is so important. Whew. I made so many mistakes with Caleb. He never let me know I made one. He never let me know I made one. He never told me I hurt his feelings or anything. Even when times I knew, my son is 17 now. Yeah, I'm almost done. 17. And he says, Mom, you did all right with me. I said, I did. I said, I didn't make you upset times. I yelled at you too much. He said, well, I figured if you was yelling, I had to get yelled at. And then 9 years later, and his father's amazing, by the way. I have to shout him out, Mark Turner. I have to shout him out. He is amazing. My son's dad is amazing. Get a hand for him. So at that point, I found it. I got it, right? I'm learning myself. I'm loving myself. Me and my son, 20, we got matching shoes. This is love. This feels good. 9 years later, had a little girl. Whew. Very different dynamics. Very different dynamics. Those of you who all know me know I played almost every sport I could. Very tomboyish. You couldn't catch me in a dress. I want to go play basketball. My mom, put the dress on. I want to go play basketball. Put the heels on. I'm going to play basketball. That was me. But I get this little girl. I want my nails done. I want my toes done. I want my hair done. Mom. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this? I ain't none of that. Whew. I don't even know what to do. I got a little girl. She pretty. Oh, you're pretty. I can dress you up. Oh, I'm scared. Because I don't know how to, I don't know how to do that. My daughter just turned 8 years old. And she said, Mom, you keep talking about you not perfect. Well, you're perfectly for me. I said, I am. And she said, yes, Mommy, you are. She said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I said, you're right. She said, you and my dad. I had to learn again. I had to go into a room and I had to cry. I'll share something with you. My daughter's dad, he took his life this past October. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't take it. The demons he was fighting, they were too big for him. Which left me with a little girl looking at me like, well, what now? My dad gone. Go get me another dad. And she was serious. I want another dad. I know that dad was sick. I know his mind was sick, Mom. So go get me one whose mind isn't sick. How do you tell an 8-year-old that it don't just happen that way? Easy. Love yourself. If the head not right, the body not gonna be right. The head tell the body what to do. So if I'm not right up here, my children won't. And they're a reflection of me. That's my legacy. So one thing I figured out, back to pouring these cups. I found out that when you get, say it's 3 sets of cups. It's a cup here, a cup here, a cup here. This cup is completely full to the brim. This cup is not so full. It's about halfway there. Then we got another cup that's running over. I mean, just constantly running over. It's just endless amounts, just pour. That first cup, that's for me. Okay? That's mine. Your first cup is yours. You're not supposed to give nobody another that cup, because if you do, it gets empty. That second cup is a representation of what happens when you don't set those boundaries and you keep pouring. Okay? Cup getting emptier and emptier and emptier. That third cup represents all that overflow. That's what you give to everybody else. What's in that cup, what's meant to be in that cup is for you. You can give everybody else the extra, but what's in that cup is for you. when my daughter's dad passed away, it made me do a complete flashback. Like I said, I had to learn who I was. Growing up, I grew up in the church in the pulpit. I was there, sunshine bed, Bible study, usher. I wasn't even an usher. My mom made sure I was in there. You understand? And she made sure I read that Bible from Genesis to Revelation, all 66 books. Say them in order. Learn it. Learn this word. Let this word become a part of you and who you are. Okay. So I'm taking all that in. And then I'm hearing, you taking it in, but are you understanding? Do you understand what you're reading? Or you just reading and playing church because that's what they want you to do? What do you want to do? Oh, you want to understand it? Okay. Best way to understand is to love myself and humbly say, I don't get it. Because I didn't. I thought I did. I'll go to church every Sunday, play church. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Don't. Play the drums, making everybody shout. I hid behind those drums because I didn't want to be the one out there. No, don't call me to the altar. I know I did something I wasn't supposed to. If I stay on these drums, I can just stay right here and won't nobody, praise the Lord. Just keep going. Praise the Lord. Just stay there. You know? And those of y'all who went to church with me and grew up know what I'm talking about. I used to sit right there. I'm playing drums. I bet you I don't get up no call no off today. Because I knew I was in the club last night. I knew I was. So now how I look. I didn't want that. That wasn't me loving myself because I wasn't living in my truth. I didn't have confliction. I didn't have conviction. I found out conviction and comfortability don't live on the same block. So it's either this way or that way. So now I'm at a crossroad. Do I love myself yet? I have been brought down to nothing, lost everything but my mind. I've lost friends, I've lost relationships, and I have to go back and sit down. A very close person to me told me if you remove the titles, you might lose some family members, but that's okay. That's okay, they gotta go. Because where God is taking you, there's no room for them. Quit trying to make room for people who can't sit at your table. Okay? We have to stop doing that. Stop setting your table for those who don't even know what your menu is. They don't even have a palate that's good enough to appreciate what you're serving. But you want them at your table. Come on. No. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Huh? She said she's going to add it to her notes. All right, I'm preaching. Ooh. What it is stop setting a table for people who don't even know what's on your menu. Their palate can't even handle what you're serving. It's too hot, it's too cold. It's too this, it's too that. Guess what? It's you. And if they can't deal with you, they can't deal with themselves. So how? How do you get to that point? Is love being honest? Is love being loyal? Respectful, respected? Love is all those things. All those things. But most of all, love is simply self-awareness. When you know yourself, you know love, and you know how to love, and you know when to love. That's how it works. So I'm not going to stand up before you too much longer. I love you, Kia. And that's for real. I love you, Sister Angela, my Sunday school teacher. I love you, Rabante, my childhood friend all the way to now. I love you, Miss Winnie. Teacher, mom friend. Pop, Tiffany, get it together. Beulah. Girl, love you, girl. You already know. Quit playing with me. Love you. I love all of y'all. I don't have to know you. But when I found out what love was, I found out how easy it is to give it. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I love you. I cannot wait. I love you. That's it. It's never supposed to be a competition, ladies. It's always a collaboration. So love. That's it. I love you, T. Love you, Martila. Shoot. Stay in the man. Lance, I love y'all. Farquisha. Love you, girl. Duke. Greg, I love y'all. Because Miss Young, Miss Wiley, it's a lot of y'all in here that knew me since I was here. And y'all, some of y'all know some of the intimate details. Mama Buchanan. Some of y'all know. God ain't through with me yet. Y'all see I'm trucking along. I almost got it. But most importantly, I love y'all and I love myself. So love yourself. And that's it.
Hey, give her a round of applause. It ain't easy to be first, but I think she handled that darn well. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Did a great job to be first. Love thyself. You have to love yourself first before you start loving others. If you ain't got the revelation to that, you got to get that fixed first. So thank you, Tiffany, for that word. We got some more nuggets coming at you. Are y'all ladies ready? Are y'all ready?
Sharia Heath, owner of Sharia's Place LLC and co-owner of Superior Beauty Supply, is a licensed cosmetologist who discovered her passion for hair at 14, using it as a creative outlet and source of income. After a series of unfulfilling jobs, she returned to her passion with encouragement from her barber husband and enrolled in beauty school, where she quickly realized the lack of proper education around black hair care. Working her way up from receptionist to top stylist at JCPenney, she became known for educating others on maintaining healthy black hair. She later opened her private home salon, offering specialized services, and created Maury's Miracle Growth Oil to help her daughter manage a scalp condition. Today, she and her husband run Superior Beauty Supply, a safe, welcoming space where the black community can receive personalized hair care guidance from professionals who look like them and truly understand their needs. With a focus on education, empowerment, and cultural connection, the store offers everyday hair products in a curated selection of Black-owned brands, serving as a hub for confidence, community, and care. In recognition of their impact, Superior Beauty Supply was honored with the 2024 NAACP Business of the Year Award by the Battle Creek, Michigan chapter. Sharia Heath, owner of Sharia...
Y'all gotta do her better than that. She was an NACP award. Yeah, we don't just get that every day, y'all, but we got somebody in Battle Creek that got that, and she my sister, so I'm gonna brag on her, because she a little modest, but you know what? It's time to crush on us when we do big things, so I'm gonna crush on her. I have to say something personal about her before I bring her up. She shared her vision with me before it even came into the light when she was working back in the day in a beauty salon at JCPenney's. She told me what she was going to have. A lot of people tell you what they're going to have, and it sits there, and it goes dormant. But the thing is, what she told me she was going to have, she's got that now plus more. So please welcome Miss Sharia Heath, my sister, my friend, entrepreneur, and family, and what she's doing for her family, she is creating generational wealth.
We ain't wealthy yet, but we getting there. Okay, y'all, bear with me. Bear with me. What you guys see today is what you see I'm doing today. It didn't start like this. And when Kia first came and talked to me about what the topic was going to be, the rebirth of a broken woman, I immediately got my feelings, because, honey, I ain't broken. Ain't nothing broken about me. So I was kind of like, I don't have, what do I talk about? I'm not a broken woman. I don't classify myself as a broken woman. But after having a crash out moment about the topic, my husband talked to me about what I've been through in the last 30 years. And he talked to me about telling my story on how I got here, which I don't talk to a lot of people about that. My mother died when I was 20 years old. I had a 1-year-old who I didn't know what to do with. My mother died right at that moment in my life where I needed to be guided by an adult. And it's a touchy subject because I thought, thank you. Because after nearly 30 years, I thought I was okay with it. And then I realized that I wasn't. Oh, thank you, PC. This is my baby. And my babies know my story because I remind them all the time. I don't let them forget where I come from or where they coming from. My mother died when I was 20 years old. And after she passed away, right actually before she passed away, about a year or so before she passed away, I moved out of my parents' home. I had a baby. It's time for me to get on my feet, right? Be grown. Do grown folk stuff. 6 months later, I needed to come back home because I didn't pay no rent, didn't pay my bills, did none of that stuff. I didn't realize how sick my mother was. And she did not allow me to come back home. Now, I had a baby. That should be automatic. You can come back home. And she didn't let me come back home. And at the time, I didn't understand why she didn't let me come back home. It wasn't until years after she passed away, I got it. She didn't let me come back home because had I went home, I would have never been able to stand on my own 2 feet. She was trying to teach me that I had to live my life without her. And when she passed away, I was lost. I spent probably a good 5, 6, 7 years of my life just trying to figure things out. Now I got a baby who looking up to me to be a mother, but I'm grown. I don't have a mother to help me. Whew. It's been a long time since she's passed away. But whew. So finally, I started getting it together, and I found my passion. People know me. I've been doing hair since I was 14, and even at that age, I was doing my mama's hair, I was doing my friend's hair, I was doing her friend's hair, and I realized as I got older and started having kids of my own that I did not get encouraged at that age to do just what comes natural to me. You know, you get pushed into, you should go to college. College is this and college is that. And I hate to say college isn't for everybody, because to me that just simply, it puts you in a space where maybe you're not good enough for college. And in reality, college isn't your only option. It's just not your only option. Now, by the time I went to beauty school, that was my 3rd attempt. And I had a different support system by then. And I was able to go to beauty school and finish, and I was just had her. By the time I went to beauty school, y'all, I had 4 kids, couldn't keep a job, because I couldn't keep a job. I quit on break. It's too hot. It's too this. I can't get my nails done. Just whatever. It was just too much, and I couldn't find my place. I couldn't find what I wanted to do. So finally, my husband said, "Girl, you can't keep a job. Go back to beauty school. Do what you know how to do." And during that time, now I'm still grieving and trying to figure out how to just be me. How to take care of my kids, how to just manage life. Now I had my aunt, I had my grandmother, my father's mother, and my father's sister, my Aunt Phyllis. I had those people here, but I didn't have my mother. I didn't have that adult guidance. I didn't have that person I could call and just find out simple stuff. How do you make this? What do I do for this? How do I take care of her? How do I take care of my kids? I didn't have that. And it wasn't until I started doing hair professionally that I realized my mother was sending people to me to raise me. Everyone who has ever sat in my chair has talked to me about my mother, their childhood experiences with her. And I realized that these are the women who got me through my 20s, got me through my 30s, got me through my 40s. These are the women who, I always say this, I say, doing hair for me is always deeper than hair. You come get your hair done, I make you look nice. I make you feel good about yourself. But what you do for me is something on a completely different level. I just truly believe that people are sent to us for a reason. Everybody plays a role in your life, whether it's to teach you something, to show you something. They're there for a reason, and they don't just come to you just because. Everybody serves a purpose in your life. And when I began to look at every one of those women who sat in my chair as a teacher, they're guiding me. So what I thought I lost was I didn't have my mother to guide me through my adult life. And in reality, she sent all these people to me. She sent all these women to me who could tell me, how to raise my children, how to buy a house, how to cook a pot roast, how to do, you know what I mean? Like, just those life lessons that I've learned from every single woman who has ever sat in my chair. Like I said, you look today and you think, she's got a beauty supply store, she's got her salon. Let me tell you, it ain't been easy. I have sacrificed a lot. My children have sacrificed a lot. My marriage has sacrificed just so I can create a space for my community, the people who raised me. Just so I could create a space for the people who I feel like raised me in this journey. I always say this. Now, when my mother passed away, I was 20 years old, like I said, and there was nothing for me. There was no life insurance policy. I was 20 years old, so I struggled with housing. I struggled with managing my credit. I struggled with a lot of those lessons you think your parents are supposed to teach you. My mother left me and my father, he's blessed, and that's my best friend, but he was a bachelor. He was living his best life. So I got relationship advice from a man who was a bachelor. That's my buddy though, but I did not get those life lessons, and I felt like I was so late in life. I'm 50 now, and I just feel like the things that I'm 50, yes, I'm 50. And I feel like the things that I'm doing in my life right now, I'm kind of late in the game. I feel like if I would have got that encouragement much younger when everyone saw that raw talent that I had, if I would have started a lot younger. So the lesson I've learned from this whole 30-year experience was I wanted to leave my children in a better place that I was left in. Not meaning that my mother left me, destitute, but there was a lot of things I didn't know how to do when she died. And I've always said I want to leave my children in a better place that I was left in. So I teach my children. This is what I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to make to everybody. I teach my children everything I know. Everything. If I learn something about running my business, if I learn something about credit, if I learn anything about whatever, I'll tell her how to color somebody's hair, anything. I teach them everything I know. Because my biggest fear was to leave my children in a place where they couldn't survive without me. Life is going to be hard enough without a mother. Anybody who's lost a mother knows it ain't easy. It is not easy at all. And I wanted to leave my children in a better place that I was left in. So, Superior Beauty Supply. It wasn't a lifelong dream to have a beauty supply store. It's literally something I came up with during COVID. And it made me realize during COVID how fragile our system is. Because we can have a natural disaster, we can have a pandemic like we had, and I'm not working. Nobody in my household is working. My husband had to shut the barbershop down. I worked from home, so it made it a little bit easier, but it made me realize just how fragile we actually are. And women started calling me because now they got to go to Walgreens to buy hair color because I can't do their custom color, things like that. And I realized that I had so much more to offer than just sitting them in my chair and doing their hair. Now I need to teach them. I need to teach them how to do their own hair, where to buy their stuff at. Started doing my research, y'all, and I realized that Black-owned beauty supply stores, even though they stay in business because of us. You don't go in there and see too many Asian people shopping. You don't see too many white people in there shopping. They come in there now, don't get me wrong, but the stores cater to us, and we don't own them. At that particular time when I started doing my research, we own less than 3% of the beauty supply stores across America. That's ridiculous. They're open because we patron them. And got to, putting my numbers together. And when I presented the idea to my husband about opening a beauty supply store, he had just lost his mother. So, of course, that just dredged up a whole bunch of other emotions for me, because I got this bright idea to open up a beauty supply store, and he is grieving his mother. And I realized, he had his mother a lot longer than I had mine. Not saying his hurt was more than mine, but dang, I couldn't imagine losing my mom at 50. And I had her my entire adult life. So I could understand how he felt to a degree. I lost my mother going into adulthood. He had his entire adult life. So I come up with this bright idea to come up with a beauty supply store. And I brought the idea to him because I wanted to give him an outlet to help him grieve, because I really didn't know how to help him grieve. So brought the idea to him, and he's on his cell phone. He's dinking around doing stuff on his phone. And he's like, baby, that's a good idea. But that was it. We didn't talk about it no more. I didn't push the issue, but I kept doing my research. Because anything, here's a nugget. Anything that you want to do, research it and study it. Move in your daily life like you're already doing it. I am a master manifester. I can think it and make it happen. I've done that my entire life. Now, it took me until I was much older to realize, girl, you've been doing this your whole life. You've been manifesting things your entire life. Like I would always tell my children, I want to leave you in a better space than I was left in. I've been seeing that for 30 years. And it's come to fruition. So I want to have a beauty supply store. And finally, one day he asked me about it. He said, hey, what about the idea about a beauty supply store? Oh, bro, let me tell you. I've been doing my research. And it happened so fast. I can say that it took a couple of years, but it happened so fast. And what I realized in that moment of going through it, now we found our building. We found our building, and we were there working in our building a year before our store came. So every week people are coming in, oh, how's the store coming along? When's the store opening? You see this big old empty space, and trying to keep them encouraged just like I'm trying to keep myself encouraged. I know it's coming, but they don't know. They come here every other week, and there's still an empty space in there. And to me, what I realized is, y'all, if you have a goal and you have a destination that you're trying to get to, focus on that destination. Don't focus on the road getting there, because all kind of crap is going to come along the way. You got your credit, your this, your that, your building's not going to be inspected, whatever. All kind of stuff is going to come on that journey to your destination. But if you're working for the journey, you don't work for the destination. And that's what I realized. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. Like, girl, you're not scratching scalp just to scratch scalp every day. You have a bigger goal. So doing what you have to go through on a daily basis to get to your final destination, that's it. Focus on your destination. Don't focus on the obstacles getting there. And when I realized that, and people started coming in, well, how's the store coming along? When's the store gonna open up? Then, because I can sense the doubt in their voice. They're doubting me. They don't think it's gonna actually happen. But I kept my mind on the destination and not all of the obstacles that came along the way. And it was hard, y'all. It was hard. It was hard. You can look at my store now and see that we're still a growing store. But when I say we sacrificed, I sacrificed. I sacrificed time with my children. Me and my husband were at each other's throats regularly because I go from being his wife to now I'm his business partner. That's something different. That's something different. And people don't talk about that. If you're in a business with your spouse, that's something totally different because you literally bring your job home. You don't leave it at the workplace. And I can honestly say that the journey, it was worth it. It was worth it. And we're still going through it. I learn about my business every single day. And as I learn it, I teach it to my children. Because I always say, I want to leave my children in a better place that I was left in. And now that I can go to work, and this little one right here works right next to me and can make just as much money as me. It took me 30 years to make that. She's already there. And I work with my husband, I work with my daughters, and I said, dang it, mission accomplished. My work here is done. Speak what you want to do, speak it. And I spoke it for years. I said that time and time again. I just want to leave my kids in a better, girl, if you got a little money, after I'm gone, do what you got to do. I want you to have a house. I didn't have a house. When my mother died, I had to go. I didn't have a house. I didn't have nowhere to go. I'm struggling to pay my rent and take care of a baby because ain't nobody taught me credit, honey. I watched my mom, my stepfather worked, and I watched my mama spend his money. That's what I saw. I didn't know anything. And if you don't take away anything from today, understand that our children are watching us. Our children are watching us. And if you care anything about them, we have to teach them how to live without us. Yes. You have to teach them to live without us. And that was the hardest pill for me to swallow. So trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today, because I changed my topic about 4 times. The last time I changed it was Wednesday. And it was life be life. And you know, depending on what you're going through is what you're going to talk about today. And I realized I wasn't broken. I bent. You know, you bend a little bit because I come from a divine line of beautiful, strong women. And we're never broken. We're not broken. Things happen in life that bend us, but you're never broken. Because who's in the business? If you're broken, who fixes you? You know, we're never broken. You bend, and then you keep moving. Every lesson in life, every trauma that we go through in life is a lesson learned. No matter how hard it is, no matter how bad it was, it's a lesson learned. My dad told me this recently. He said, you have to find the blessing in every situation, every bad situation. He said, if you don't find the blessing in a bad situation, they'll stop coming. You know, you have to acknowledge it. Woo, Lord, my car done broke down. It's going to cost me $3,000. But you know what? I got $3,000. That's the blessing of your car being broke down. You know, you have to find the blessing in every situation. And I remember because I had my grandson. And he literally fell in our laps overnight. And I have a 40-year-old grandson. I would have never started a business at this age and this late in my life if I had a 4-year-old. Would have never did that. So now I have a 4-year-old full time. And my dad's telling me, oh, Sharia, you got to find the blessing in the situation. He's waking up in the middle of the night. He's not used to being with me that much. He might come spend the night. He's used to his mom. His mom's not here. And my dad kept saying, you have to find the blessing in every situation or the blessings aren't going to come. Well, we're losing sleep, Dad. So I can't figure out the blessing at 2:30 in the morning because I'm tired. So I don't know why he's here. I'm sorry, I just don't know. I can't figure it out. And one day that light went off again. And he's in my care, regardless of what my daughter is going through. He's in my care right now because, one, I'm stable enough to take care of him and run 2-3 businesses. That's the blessing. That's the blessing. It's not, I'm mad at my daughter because she's in another pickle and now, she's gone for 70 days. That's the junk on the road. The destination was you have this little boy who you can guide and mentor every single day. Find the blessing in everything that you do. I absolutely love what I do. I really do, even though I might go to work complaining when I get there. But then there's somebody who will come to me and talk to me about whatever's going on in their life. I had a client, I call them client sisters. I had a client the other day. We're talking about transparency and how as women, you see me stand here and she's got this business and she's got her family working with her and her husband and it's such a great support. That's what you see. You don't realize the trouble we went through to get there. And we don't talk about that enough with each other. We don't open up enough with each other about those moments in life that you don't want to talk about. You don't want to talk about the troubles in your marriage. You don't want to talk about the troubles with your kids. You don't want to talk about the loss of your job because you want people to see you as this put together woman. We have to share those stories with each other, and we have to be transparent with one another because if you can teach one, you reach one, or however it goes. Never give up on your destination. I'm still on that road. My store's still not the way I want it. My store's still not my vision. It's much bigger than what it is now. It looks good, but that's not my final destination. And if you take anything away from this conference, just understand that we are put in each other's lives for a reason. It might just be for a season, but you take away from people whatever it is they're giving you. Whatever they're giving you. My clients speak life into me weekly, daily. They were placed in my life because I'm a firm believer that my mother sent them to me because she knows the type of people that I need. I have a very exclusive clientele because them is the type of women I need in my life. And just take away from this conference that we're not broken. You bend, but you don't break. You bend and you don't break.
That was just a blessing in itself from Sharia. I asked her a year ago to speak. She says, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes, I need you. We need your testimony." Can y'all give her another round of applause? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to be vulnerable. It's not easy to accept what we're called to do. Sometimes that comes with a price. So I just want to tell you, Sharia, I love you. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you for walking this out with me. We love you, Sharia.
All right, girl. Okay. So I just want to say that without this next person that we're bringing up, none of this will be possible. This is the 3rd annual Women's Empowerment Conference, and I'm just happy to be a part of it along with the rest of the panel of women we have here. I'm quite sure it's an honor. And with that being said, Ms. Kia Whtllock, a visionary CEO and event planner at Kia Solutions, crafts unforgettable experience that leave a lasting impact. With a passion for serving others, she expertly coordinates conferences and networking events of all sizes. Her comprehensive services also include business coaching, business workshop facilitation, motivational speaking, event hosting, and event promotion. As the leader of winning entrepreneurs, Kia empowers business leaders to reach new heights. Her women's empowerment conferences offer a powerful platform for women to be uplifted, celebrated, and heard. Kia's inspiring story was featured on Black CEO podcast, where she shared her insights on resilience and setbacks into comebacks. Her motto, "We heal together, we win together," embodies her commitment to collective growth and success. Along with that, I'm going to add as well, Kia has also been involved in several different podcasts leading up into this event and others. She has becoming a very good pillar of the community, a sister, a friend, 2 o'clock in the morning, Kia. She's been all that. You know, she's somebody that I cherish and somebody that I've grown to love more and learn to just embrace her and everything that she has. And I appreciate you for this opportunity, Kia. It's been amazing. So without further ado, and with all the radio appearances and everything like that, we're gonna give a warm welcome, a loud welcome, a thunderous applause for the lady herself, Miss Kia Whtllock.
I just got to take a minute because I just got to thank God, because that's why I'm here. I got to give it up to him. I got to. So, how is everybody enjoying it? So, my topic is the rebirth of the broken woman, or I'm going to say bent. Rise again. Good afternoon. I stand before you today to remind you that you are uniquely created by God. You're endowed with inherited value and purpose. Despite society's pressures that often try to mold and label us as broken, it is time to transform our pain into purpose. Life challenges can break us, causing us to lose our way and stray from our path. Our dreams may be shattered or put on hold, and we may find ourselves consumed by trauma or difficult situations, barely existing and hiding our true emotions. We may face betrayal that cuts so deep, struggling to survive and forgetting how to breathe. We also endure many silent battles. However, being broken doesn't mean defeat. I want to say that again. However, being broken does not mean defeat. It means we have been injured, and we are required healing and restoration. For me, broken was not the end, but a new beginning. My scars and story became my strength and catalyst for healing. I once was a broken woman operating in my own brokenness. I felt very empty and alone. I had invested so much in others and roles that I lost myself. I publicly wore a pretend mask of happiness while silently inside crying. I supported others while I fell apart. During my darkest moments, I felt lost and without direction. I realized that I had the power to transform my struggles into opportunities for growth. I am grateful for the wisdom that was spoken over my life at the age of 18, calling me to minister to women. Although I wasn't ready to embrace my calling at the time, I am thankful to my friends, Antoinette and Tanya's Covenant. I'm going to tell you this right now. You have people that cover you when you can't even cover yourself, and you don't even know what the word covering means. They was covering me when I was in my ignorancy at the age of 18. My life became a roller coaster. I was going up, and I was coming down, and I was going up, and I was coming down, but I was coming down faster than when I was going up. I prayed for strength secretly and wondered if God had forgotten about me. I felt unappreciated, unloved, seeking validation from others. Yet, God reminded me that his validation is all that I ever needed. I'm going to tell everybody that right now, God is the only validation you need. You don't need that validation from your job. You don't need no validation from your friends. You only need God's validation. So I want to make that crystal clear. He spoke to me, Kia, you were validated. You were validated, you were stamped, and you was approved when I created you. Now I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it for y'all. You are validated. You have been stamped and approved when you were created. When they said who you were, that's the day you became validated. So once I realized my life was not my own and that I needed to surrender to God. See, what I was doing for years, I was in and I was out. I was in and I was out. I was in and I was out. You can't be in and out. You either got to be in or you're going to be out. And you better. And then the thing about it is, if you get out, you better hope you make it to get back in. So don't take it for granted. Don't say, oh, I got tomorrow to do it. No, you got today to get it right. Tomorrow might not be promised. So you have to live today like it's your last day. So you can't procrastinate on what you are called to do. So he rescued me. He healed me from trauma, fear, pain, abandonment. He mended my brokenness. He gave me a new identity. My rebirth marked my new beginning. Your rebirth marks your new beginning. With that being said, he transferred my experiences of pain, scars, and life challenges to me steppingly. I'm talking about steppingly, confident in my purpose. This has given birth to a business and a ministry. God had gave me that. He entrusted me to carry this out, empowering others to rediscover their strength and rise into their greatness, becoming the best versions of themselves. That's what he called me to do. The vision that God has for my life is so big that it surpassed my imagination. It's over my imagination. Everybody knows I'm a visionary and I dream big. Even as a little girl, I don't even know how to dream small. In conclusion, I want to leave you with a quote. The past is to be learned from, but not to live in. We do not need to live in our past. We remember the blessings and the lessons, but then we look with faith towards the future by Jeffrey R. Holland. Your scars and life experiences hold the power to heal and transform. No matter how broken you may feel, you have the capacity to rise again. You have the capacity to rise again. You are enough. So many people tell us that we are not enough. We are enough. And your journey is far from not over. If you wake up in the morning, your journey's not over. He hasn't put you to sleep yet. So get up. Step into your greatness and become the person you are meant to be. You are equipped. I'm going to tell you right now, you are equipped with the tools to succeed and to make a meaningful impact. I do have one last thing. I have an illustration that I would like to do. I need 2 volunteers to come up, please. Fergie, will you come up? Okay. Can you welcome these ladies because they don't know what I'm about to do? So we're going to give you this illustration. And as we are putting it on her, I want everybody to think what had you in a place of brokenness, what put you there. I want you to yell it out. If it's trauma, yell out trauma, whatever it is. As we're putting what we're doing, we're showing you what brokenness look like. So we're laying her up with brokenness. So I want everybody to start calling out something that broke them, or something they dealing with now that they want removed. So right now we got the first layer of brokenness. I'm gonna say defeat, abandonment. Somebody else say something. Fear, trauma, grief, sadness, broken relationships, fear, illness, self-doubt, low self-esteem, rejection, tired, anxiety, hurt, depression, loneliness, anxious. So now this is heavy. This is heavy. When you're going through so much and you don't get it released, it's heavy. So all this is weighed on her. But this is what God told me today. He told me whatever been weighing over your life, there's people that has been in dormant. There's people that has had depression weighed on them. There's people that don't think they're enough. He told me he's removing all that right now. So all that what we just put in the atmosphere is getting ready to be removed right now in everybody's life. Whatever it is, what's for you that needs to be removed, he's doing it now. So we're getting ready to take these off of her. Now when you take something off, you got to replace it with something. So let's start saying what we're going to replace it with. Can you take her off? Love, joy, confidence, happiness, peace, wealth, favor. Can you walk it out for us to show us what it looks like? This is what it looks like. This it looks like. Thank you, guys. I'm Kia Whtllock. Keep praying for me. You know me. You know I'm extra. Actually, God, I was done and God told me to add that in. That was God. Thank you. Thank you for my volunteers.
Angela Cleveland is a seasoned accountant with 40 years of experience in income tax and accounting services. Renowned for her expertise and dedication, Angela provides clients with accurate financial guidance and tailored solutions to meet their unique needs. She retired from Kellogg Community College as the Director of Purchasing. Her meticulous attention to detail and commitment to excellence have solidified her reputation as a trusted name in the accounting field. Angela's educational foundation includes a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in accounting from Western Michigan University. She is also a proud graduate of the Michigan Community College Leadership Academy, showcasing her commitment to professional development and leadership. Beyond her professional achievements, Angela is deeply passionate about community service. She serves as a notary of the public and a registered IRS tax preparer, and is currently a member of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women. Angela has also held roles such as treasurer of the NAACP and tutor for the Second Vision Reading Program. Additionally, she has contributed to organizations like the Michigan Public Purchasing Officers Association, where she was a past member, and Habitat for Humanity, where she served as a board member. This blend of professional expertise, academic accomplishments, and active community engagement highlights Angela's unwavering dedication to making a positive impact in her field and beyond.
I am just so proud of Miss Angela. She does so much for the community. She's a positive person in my life. She constantly whispers things to me to elevate me, and I just love her. Please welcome my sister, Angela.
Glory to God. Man, I'm following some amazing women. Oh my God. When I look at Tiffany, like she said, I knew her when. And Sharia grew up on my street. So I know Sharia, and her and my daughter was best of friends growing up. So just to see the women that they become. And Kia, I met her recently. And it's just been a blessing to have her in my life, to have her say, I want you to come and speak. I met Kia at another conference. I spoke at a wellness conference, and Kia said, you need to come and be on my program. Well, I'm one of those folks. I'm an accountant, and most accountants, you know, we like working by ourselves behind the scene. We don't care nothing about being up front and, you know, being in front of everybody. And I want to say, I was wrestling with my topic. I was like, Sharia, I changed my topic, but now I know why. Because my number one topic in life is education and children. I love kids to no end, my own and everybody's. And I was going to talk about that. But then a few days ago, it's like, you don't need to talk about children. It was taking me out of my comfort zone. But I decided to empower women with financial literacy. Because many times, we know how to spend money, but we don't know how to generate it, save it, budget it, you know, all the things we need to do with it. And also, if you know Angela, you know that nothing goes on in my life without God. See, so I got to lay a scripture on it. I got to put a scripture on it, and I'm talking about the parable of the talents. You know, because we all have talents. I'm going to tell you what the Bible said about talents, but I'm also going to talk about some talents that we have as individuals. So I'm going to give you some of the scripture, and I'm probably going to paraphrase some. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to one, according to his ability. And immediately he went away. Now, did you hear that? According to his ability. See, God is going to give you what you can handle. You may not be able to handle all the 5 talents, but you may only handle 1, but hopefully you at least handle 2. But on to the story. When the folks got the talents, the person with the 5 talents, they went and they invested and made 10 talents out of it. The one that had the 2, they turned to 4. And the one that had 1, he was afraid and buried it in the ground and did not use it. See, and the thing is, when God gives us something, we have to use it. He purposely put all those gifts inside of you to be used. You know, whether it's your education or any of your resources. It could be your education, it could be your money, it could be your time. One of our most important resources is time. What are you doing with your time? You know, that's something that we can't get back. Some of this other stuff we can get back. We can get money back because we just make some more. But once that day is gone, it's gone. So it's very important that we use our time wisely. But anyway, when the master came back and he asked them what they did, and when they told him what they did with the money, he told the 2 guys that invested the money and made more, you're a good and faithful servant. You know, you took a few things and you made many out of it. So, no, you made a lot out of it. So because of that, you're going to be rulers over many. You're going to have more put into your storage. If we want God to increase us and make us more and enlarge our territory, we got to use what he has to give us. No excuse, no excuse. Oh, I can't do it. My big excuse is, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell them myself, my big excuse is, let the young people do it. I've been serving in church my whole life. Let the young people do it. But my pastor won't let me. He keeps telling me, no, we need you to. We need you to. And people like Kia, oh no, Angela, you come over here and have something to say to these people. So, but I'm saying that because God is speaking to me to say, hey, you use what you have to offer. Maybe you couldn't talk about your beloved family because that's where my heart is, but I can talk about business because that's second in my heart. Now, I'm going to talk a little about financial literacy. And what that is the ability to understand and effectively manage money, including budgeting, savings, borrowing, investing, and debt management. And when you are financially literate, basically you use the skills that you learn to grow your money and whatever resources you have. So that is so important. And I am so grateful that God showed me that years ago, even with raising my children. I used to let my baby girl, I can squeeze them in here. I used to let my baby girl manage my checkbook. And I mean, we would do it on a spreadsheet. And oh yeah, she had her a penny account at Omni Credit Union. I don't know if anybody remember those old penny accounts. Well, Sandra had one. And she still got the account at Omni Credit Union, good with money. So it's important what we teach our children. So y'all know, sorry, I can't talk without talking about my babies. But anyway, earnings. So basically when we talk about financials, we have to have money to even have any finance. And our earnings can be our employment, our investments. It could be what we have in our real estate. Like if we own a house, I'll get to, some of my topics are gonna intertwine because when you talk finance, all of them overlap. Let's see. In budgeting. Now budgeting is a plan to what you're gonna do with your money before you do it. Not after you spend it, you wanna log it. That's a check register. That's not budgeting. Budgeting is when you list how much money you have coming in, both of your checks or however many times you get paid every month. You total those up, and then you list every single thing. A budget just tells all your business. You got to put the rent, the mortgage, the house, the car note, the groceries, the new purse you want, anything that comes that's going to go through your finances need to be listed in that budget. And if it's not on the budget, you can't spend it. And God was dealing with me on budgets for the last few years. He's like, buy what you need. You don't need everything you want. I might want a whole new suit. No, he said, just get the blouse. I'm like, Jesus. The Louis Vuitton purse, my daughters, they buy all that stuff. I don't really need that. I need a leather purse. I need a black leather purse, and it do not have to have Louis Vuitton on it or nothing else. But that's God doing a work in me about, how to handle my finances. Another thing important in financial literacy is savings. And that's setting money aside for future use, whether it's for emergencies that may come up, and they will come up. The tire gonna go out. The furnace might even go out. There's so many things that happens in life. And in my situation, my furnace went out. I was raising my kids. I didn't have money. I didn't even have the credit at the time to buy no furnace. I had to lay hands on my furnace and pray over that furnace. I lit that furnace and I laid my hands on it. And to God be the glory. That furnace worked. They said I had someone come out and look at it. They rigged it after the fact. They did something to make it work because I done laid hands because I believe. When I pray, I believe for an outcome. And God blessed. He healed that situation. I mean, you just have to believe what you say. And you got to trust God in all your situations. Now, so yes, and also in that category of savings, we don't know what the market holds. We don't know if jobs are going to be lost. We've seen a crisis in COVID. And COVID, took people, took them from work. They had no resources. So we want to really be careful with our savings. And next, we'll talk about investing. And I had mentioned earlier about home ownership. home ownership is one of the most important assets we can have because you can pay rent and you're funding the dream of someone else. But if you buy a house, you're funding your future. That is generational wealth for your children. That is also money available so when times do get hard, if the furnace do go out, you can go to the bank and say, look, my house is $400,000. I owe $300,000. I got $100,000. Can I get some of that to fix this or help with the children to go to college or repair the car or to buy a car? So sometimes you can move money around just to make ends meet. But if you end up paying $60,000 in the last 3 years to rent, that's just money wasted. Yes, you live there. However, it's nothing you can benefit from. So that is just so important to own a home. Let's see. And then we talk about borrowing. Now we all like to borrow. You know, we like to borrow from the credit union. We like to, even that mortgage is borrowing. We also, when it comes to borrowing, you have to have a good credit score to even get any money. The credit range is from 300 to 850. A good credit score is 600 to 739. And the thing is, one thing about having good credit, you can have good credit. But the problem is if you use over 30% of that credit they gave you about $40,000 in credit, and if you use over 30% of that, your credit score would drop. And you know, that has nothing to do with you not paying your bill on time. That's a given. If you get credit, be sure to pay your bills on time. But I'm gonna give you a little cheat here. If you messed up and you missed the date, and as long as you pay it before 30 days is up, it won't go to the credit bureau. It will not be held against you. So be sure, even if you slip up and mess up, just be sure that you pay it within 30 days. You always pay it before that. Let's see. And I missed something important I got to go back to with the investing. Employers offer 401k plans, and that's for retirement savings. And if you work for a nonprofit, it's 403b, whichever. They give you an opportunity to put money in there. So when you're retired, you'll have money to live on. Because the day of the pension plan is no more, pretty much. Most companies are no longer offering a pension plan. I was blessed to retire from KCC, which offered a pension plan, a state pension plan, as well as I had money in a 403b. So I was like, Lord, thank you. I'm putting this money up. But I hate to admit this, y'all. When I retired, I kind of lost my mind. I said, before I get too old, before I get too broke, before I get too sick, I'm going to Africa. So I took a lavish trip to Africa, a 12-day trip, and it was amazing. So I spent some of that money that I had saved up. And then yeah, so, and also turned around and went to Dominican Republic. So, and I've been traveling all over the state. But this is how God bless us. When we do right with our money, you can use it. You know, all my kids are grown. I must admit, they're better off than I am. So I'm like, glory to God. I don't have to, I have a problem that some people don't have, and I almost wish I had this problem. I don't see the grandkids that much because, well, I have college grandchildren. However, when they were little, I had them for the summer. But the parents don't need me to take care of the children. And, you know, so that's a blessing. But if anybody know me, I love my children and my grandchildren. So that was something I had to get used to. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm covering everything. And the last thing I would like to talk about is debt management. And basically we do, because when you get good credit, everybody want to give you all this debt. They want to, oh yeah, buy this, we'll give you that. You don't have to take it all, but if you find yourself spending more than you should, Then you need a debt plan, a debt management plan, where you set up strategy to pay these bills off so that should you need the money, it's available. You know, and so to me, it's just the strategy and the execution of a payoff plan. And I've been on a couple of those. Because growing up, you know, raising my kids and having money, spending money for college or doing repairs on the house and all this, you get out of debt and then you inch back in, you inch back in. So it's always a constant fight to keep your name good, because that's so important. Because we, and I'm going to say as Christians, we can't have the same credit score and report as the non-believer. Because, see, God already told us about these talents. He already told us how we are supposed to be. We're of the world, but we're not in the world. We're not there. We don't follow the plan that they do. He expects more of us as Christians, that we pay our bills on time. We said we borrowing this money in good faith. You have to pay it in good faith, just like they gave it to you. Yeah, there we go. Fix it, baby. We are in the world. We're not of it. And that's what I truly believe. God has a standard. And I also know that there's a penalty when we don't follow God's standard. That means when you try to go get that new car and they say no, that's the penalty because you didn't pay your bill. Or you can't get that home loan, or the interest rate is so high that you don't even want to take out the loan because the interest rate's too high. So you know, we just have to follow God's way of doing it. I have one thing, and I want to talk about what I firmly believe in: tithe, sow, save, and spend. So all that has to happen. We have to support the church and the organizations that we believe in. We're going to give money. We're going to sow money into other people and other things. We're going to definitely save money for ourselves, because you can't really give. I heard someone already say, you can't really give to someone else if you don't save money for yourself. And as I'm putting that money up for the tithe, when it's time to do that, well, Miss Angela's getting paid too. That money's going in my savings account because I like to travel. I like to shop. So I have to make sure I take care of me, because no one else will. And because we got to spend it now. We all know how to spend the money, so nobody got to tell us that. But I just want to say I just thank God for the opportunity, Kia, for allowing me to come and speak. And I'm just grateful for all of you that are here, and I am so blessed by what I've heard so far. Thank you.
And that is Miss Angela. So if you need to get your finances right, and you want to know how to make some money, do some things, you go talk to Miss Angela. She will get you correct and get you in line and get you in order, because that's what I'm saying. So you see the squad that I got here, I got a lot of different exceptional women. Can we give the 7 another round of applause? So now what we're going to do, we're going to shift something fun a little bit. We're getting ready to do a raffle. You guys were asked to pick a number. So the number is 24. Who picked something close to that? That was the number. Okay, come on up, 20. 23? Okay, so she's closer. You got 24? You're at. So this is our raffle winner. All right, so now we're gonna go on further. How is everybody doing? Is everybody still awake? Is y'all getting them nuggets? Because they dropping.
Edwina Winnie Wallace, M.A., L.P.C., Licensed Professional Counselor Education, 1992, B.A., Psychology, Sociology, Education, Nazareth College, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 2009, M.A., Master of Arts, Counseling Psychology, Counseling, Spring Arbor University, Spring Arbor, Michigan, Profile. I have worked in human services since I was 16 years old, and officially started my career in 1992. I began my work in community ministry and outreach at Washington Heights United Methodist Church and Community Ministries after graduating from Nazareth College in 1992. While at Washington Heights Community Ministries, my position focused on outreach and developing programs that focused on the needs of the communities, families, individuals, and youth, helping them become emotionally and mentally healthy. As a program developer and community outreach coordinator at Washington Heights Community Ministries, I worked under the direction of Reverend Clifton Bullock through the church and Reverend Dr. Russell McReynolds through the community ministries. My position as program coordinator and director allowed me to work with the major community agencies, businesses, housing agencies, mental health agencies, substance abuse councils in both Battle Creek and Albion, Michigan, major governmental sectors in Battle Creek, including city government, local and state law enforcement, religious organizations, Battle Creek public schools and other educational systems, and partners in the community. One of the major focuses was to work with children who came from homes with substance abuse, helping them to be successful at school, at home, and in the community. The major focus of this position was to jointly work towards promoting healthy environments for youth and families in the city of Battle Creek, especially the Washington Heights area. In 1994, I began working with the Battle Creek Public Schools MSRP/GSRP, Michigan School Readiness Program/Great Start Readiness Program, as a family support specialist, family interventionist, and assistant program coordinator. At that time, there were 9 active elementary schools in Battle Creek, and I worked with each one. I was able to work with other counselors and support specialists in the buildings, as well as other administrative staff and specialists from the CISD, identifying students and families, helping to coordinate individual educational plans for students with some learning deficiencies. I also worked as one of the site coordinators for the 21st Century After School program and a caseworker for the Student Reclamation program, reclaiming high school students who dropped out of school, helping them to return to school and receive their diploma or GED. From 2009 to the present, I have worked as a psychotherapist, mental health therapist, providing compassionate and effective therapy to diverse populations. My focus is on clients from the age of 8 years old to 80 years old. As a therapist, I address mental disorders that include the following: emotional dysregulation, anger management, anxiety, depression, grief, low self-esteem, attention deficit disorder, adult and child, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, including adult and childhood trauma, relationship conflict, family conflict, parenting, obsessive-compulsive disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and borderline personality disorder, as well as body dysphoria and gender dysphoria. I am skilled in many evidence-based approaches, but specialize in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, client-centered therapy, solution-focused therapy, active listening, motivational interviewing, and mindfulness therapy. I also provide Christian counseling when requested. My focus is on helping clients to become emotionally and mentally strong and healthy, understanding why they are experiencing or feeling the way they do, teaching them skills to manage their daily living, overcoming what has stopped them from living a life worth living. When a person begins to search and find the core reason for their feelings, then the healing can begin. Personal accomplishments. I currently work at Comfort of Homes Counseling as a therapist. I retired from Summit Point, where I provided psychotherapy but also led and created various mental health groups, including the DBT skills group Warriors, a group for youth ages 12 to 18, PTSD women's group, and was part of the development of the Youth Crisis Team, where I also served as an outreach crisis therapist at Summit Point. While at Battle Creek Public School, I worked with parents to create the first early childhood PTA charter for the MSRP/GSRP program. Through the PTA and fundraising, it provided an opportunity for parents to be actively involved in their child's educational experience as we generated revenue for over 240 students and their families for field trips, classroom activities, educational materials, etc. Throughout my career, I have worked as a program developer, which has allowed me to work collaboratively with many agencies in Battle Creek and the Calhoun area, including the following: all sectors of law enforcement, BC Community Foundation, NAACP, Coalition for the Homeless, Substance Abuse Council in Battle Creek and Albion, Neighborhood Inc., W.K. Kellogg Foundation, United Way, Urban League, Junior League, Summit Point, Junior Achievement, Cool People Community Group, created the youth program 4D Crew through Washington Heights Drug Awareness Program for Youth, developed the youth curriculum that was recognized by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, which received an award for incorporating diversity and inclusion through CIR. I am very thankful to God, my Creator, for developing me to do the work that I do. Following Him daily gives me the strength to move forward each day. I thank God for the opportunity to raise my 3 children, Stan, Lance, and Brittany, as well as my 2 nephews, Roman and Ramon. They blessed me as they were growing up, and they bless me even more as adults. I am very proud to have been able to raise them. Life was busy then. Life is still busy. But it is good. God has truly blessed my life, and to Him I owe everything. Edwina Winnie Wallace, M.A.,
So, I have to say this. When she told me that hers was a little long, she said, do you want me to cut out some stuff? I said, no. Why would you cut out your success? Why would you cut any part of it out? We need to celebrate that, and we need to share the platform with our women. So I was honored. I was honored to share the platform with Miss Winnie Wallace. I call her Michelle Obama because I have to fly her in to get her here. But when I told her about this conference, she has been running with me day in and day out, and trust me, she got to run to keep up with Kia. So I just love her. Welcome, welcome to Minnie, my sister, Winnie Wallace. And I just got to be like this. She look darn good for her age, don't she?
Yeah, I did tell Kia, I said, man, that's 15 minutes worth of introduction right there. Jeez. And look, there's still more, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So good. Ladies, you look beautiful out there with the yellow, and then there's some red out there, but just the different colors and everything. It just gives you new hope and new birth, and just allows you to appreciate what God has done in our lives. And so I'm here today because Kia had asked me to speak on the mental health piece. I wonder why. But anyway, so I'm going to speak on the mental health piece regarding being broken. And I know sometimes people, and I hear you, Sharia, because I looked at that and I'm like, broken? I ain't broken either, man. What's a broken word? But listen, we have all been broken at one time or another. And sometimes we may still be broken. The past couple of weeks, I had a really good friend of mine, and she was actually my cousin. I think I'm related to everybody in Battle Creek. Y'all better be careful, because I might be related to you out there. So, but I'm telling you, my friend Vasanta Averhart Thompson passed away a couple weeks ago, and that took a lot out of me, because she was my ride or die when I was at Washington Heights United Methodist Church and Community Ministries. We were taking kids all over the place, because I've always been a program developer. And some of my kids are in here now, and my grown kids stand up from Washington Heights. Some of you came in this morning, Tiffany, Martina. Don't make me call you out. Stand up. Lance, Elisha, Brittany's in the upstairs, and my son Lance is not standing up. And there she is, and there's my son Stan. And I appreciate both Lance and Stan for coming in. They live now Lance is in Baltimore, and Stan is in Illinois, Schaumburg, and I appreciate them for coming in today. So when we think about life, it is different. It is different. And we have a lot of issues that happen to us. We have a lot of brokenness that happens to us just because of who we are. Last week I was broken when I found out that Vasanta passed away. It took a lot out of me. But then I had to realize this, is that, I can't remember, one of you guys said it, we're only in each other's lives for a season. But what we do with that matters. Her homegoing was a tribute to how well people loved her. The visitation was packed, the church was packed. People were affected by her life. Same thing goes for everybody else that's in here. However you live your life, no matter how old or how young you are, you impact other people. And sometimes people are going through things. When I was going through my divorce, and I was going through, I needed you then for financial, because the money I would get, come on kids, we're going out to eat. Oop, gotta go down and pay that water bill. They're gonna shut our water off. So, you think about that. And so I think the next generation's coming after my generation. I think you guys are doing better than we did because you realize the importance of financial planning. You realize the importance of being true to yourself. You realize the importance that we're not here forever. And so you got to make the best of what you've got, taking care of your parents, taking care of your children, all of that. And I'm going to tell you, there's a generation behind you guys. I have a lot of them in my office that come see me for counseling. You need to pray every single day of every single minute of every single hour because our kids are going through some things. And anybody that works in the school system actually knows, I'm not sure who else is in here who works in the school system, but I'm going to tell you right now, our kids are suffering. Our kids are suffering because they are being raised by parents who are broken, and they don't know how to fix themselves. So the bottom line is this: when you have issues, don't be afraid to say what's going on in your life. I don't talk to everybody because I don't trust everybody. And you can believe that. I talk to those who I can trust. I talk to those who are going to set me straight. I talk to those who I know love me and I love them. But I'm not going to go and tell everybody what's going on because then they take your brokenness or they take whatever's going on in your life and they use that for gossip or they use that to hurt you. And then what do you get when people do that? You get more brokenness. You get low self-esteem. People are always going to tell you what they think you should do or who they think you should be, so on and so forth. I don't live for anybody but for God. God designed me. God made me. I am going to be who I am. And if I do something that insults somebody, just let me know. Come talk to me. Don't talk about me behind my back because I find out I'm pretty outspoken. I'm probably going to come and ask you what you see, okay? But this is the deal. You just have to be able to love yourself and not loving yourself based on what other people think, based on who God made you to be. He made all of us as individuals. None of us are the same. We may think or act like we're the same, but we're not. I'm not going to be a cookie cutter therapist. I'm not going to be a cookie cutter mom. I'm not going to be a cookie cutter parishioner. And by the way, I forgot, but this is my church, Emmanuel Covenant Church. There you go. Speak it loud, speak it loud. My pastor and co-pastor right back there in the back, give me a wave. Oh, the guy in the brown, in the tan jacket there, no, right there, and the lady in the yellow jacket, yeah. Those are my spiritual leadership right there. And let me tell you, the one good thing about having good, strong spiritual leadership is that they will correct you when you're wrong, but they'll praise you when you're right. They'll support you in whatever's going on. If you're sick, they'll call you. If you just want to talk, they may say, I'll call you back because I'm busy, I'm working right now. But they're always there for you. Put yourself in good hands with good people. The people I go to church with are good people. I've met people all over Battle Creek that have been here forever. And they're the ones that have kept me strong. Even when I worked back in 1992 at Washington Heights, and my kids were young, because that's the church they grew up in. They were young, and I was out in the public trying to help other people. People never knew that I was going through a divorce because my ex-husband was on drugs. We had 3 children together. Guess who had the children? Guess who didn't get child support? Guess who had it all by herself? But I didn't have it by myself because guess who had me? There you go. And to him, I'll forever be grateful. And people would look at me and they thought, oh, you don't have those issues. Everything is, no, you didn't know what was going on the inside. You didn't know how many times I was praying in that office. I still pray in my office because I have to, because I got a lot of things that come in there. They never knew how I felt when I got around some of my friends who were still married, and I thought everybody was happy and marriage was happy-go-lucky. Well, guess what? Marriage takes a lot of work, and it's not always happy-go-lucky. So you pray to God for what you want, but God is going to give you what you need. So God always, always, always has blessed me, has blessed my children. They have blessed me with good, solid friendship and sisterhood and brotherhood. He has never left me. But what I want to say to you, since I had the mental health, and I'll tell you this real quick too. Even though I'm a mental health therapist, and I am, and I have I have a lot of clients come to see me. I did retire from 3 jobs, but until the Lord tells me to sit down and you can't do this job anymore, I'm still going to do my job. So I'm a therapist at Comforts of Home Counseling Services, and I run into a lot of people of different backgrounds, of different issues, of different reasons why they're broke. Their spirit is broke. But I'm going to tell you, I can give you all of the counseling advice in the world. I can give you all the skills in the world. And believe me, the diagnoses are real. Anxiety is real. Depression is real. There was a whole list that we had on there. Bipolar disorder, personality disorder, borderline personalities. It's real. People who disassociate, it's real. But let me tell you, the baseline is this. My people, and I will do this in therapy, I will take certain subjects, we were talking about whatever, and I will give them information on that. But guess where my information comes from? It comes from the Holy Spirit. And some people say, Miss Winnie, wow, that's exactly what I need to hear. And I said, well, good. I said, because guess what? I didn't know what to tell you when you walked in the door. And then they'll look at me like, what? I'm like, no. I said, from the time you walked in the door, I started praying. Because I said, Lord, what do you want me to do with this person that's coming in here? Because we have to be so careful with whatever we tell people. So when you talk about people are broken and they're hurting, and all these things are going on, you have to be careful with what you say to them. You just can't say anything and everything because they'll believe it because they're not thinking with clarity. So when you run into some situations, like I was in the library the other day, I saw Kia, and then I think Ruth told me, hi Ruth. Ruth told me she saw me, and I was busy in another meeting, but the lady there wanted me to talk to her son because, yeah. And so I started talking to her. I said, well, how are you doing? So he was, and we get a lot of transgender people. He was transgender, and I said, I wasn't sure what to call him because I like to be respectful, whatever. And he told me he was doing good. So I said, so what have you been doing? He said, well, I went to the dentist the other day, and we were having a normal conversation, right? Just, you went to the dentist. Then all of a sudden he said, but you know, they put those fillings in my teeth, and I know they're checking out everything that I'm saying, and they're spying on me 24/7. This is real. So I had to look at him. I said, wow. I'm in the library. I said, wow. I said, well, you know, I said, you're right. I said, you got to be careful. I said, if you don't know who's actually working on your teeth or whatever, you probably do need to make sure you kind of double check that and check it out. And he texted his mom right after I got it. I said, make sure he's taking his medication because he's not taking his meds. So those are what we run into. But people like that, and we chuckle, but we look at those kind of people, and those are the ones that will come in because somebody didn't say something to them right, or they didn't look at them right, or whatever. They may not even spoke to them, and they may come in with a gun and want to blow you away. So those are things that we deal with. So when we talk about people being broken, there's a lot of reasons why we're broken. And the brokenness really comes from their emotions and behaviors. Well, this is a result of being mentally broken when things keep coming down in your life continuously. Emotions and behaviors that are, hang on, I just lost my place. Sorry about that. Oh, emotions and behaviors as they relate to difficult life experiences, trauma, or a sense of disconnection and lack of belonging. So I don't want to be too long because I could be up here forever, and this could be an actual workshop, which, by the way, we're going to start having soon. And I've got a couple of therapists in the audience, Lisa Henry and Ashley Johnson, who are also therapists, and we'll be doing some work together. But these things, they can come from losing a job. They can come from losing a relationship. They can come from church hurt. And let me tell you one thing about church hurt. It don't matter what church you go to, you're going to have church hurt. But this is the test. You have church hurt, but what do you do about it? You just leave? You just go around with your mouth poked out? No, I think, could ask you a question. We don't have that much time. But the one thing you could do is pray on it and then go talk to your spiritual leadership. And if it's with your spiritual leadership, still go talk to your spiritual leadership, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because sometimes we don't interpret things the way they should be. Sometimes we interpret things based on human acknowledgement. We don't look at it spiritually. So those kind of things, you need to check yourself out. But those are the ones that will stick with people the most. Well, I don't go to church because the pastor didn't speak to me. Okay, so did you speak to him or her? I ain't go to church because that person didn't let me sing in the choir. Okay, but can you sing? You know, if I had to follow Tiffany on them drums, they'd have thrown me out of church a long time ago, because she could really do that. She was a good drummer, yes. So those are things you look at, but people will take those things like that and they will magnify it and magnify it more and more and more. And the more they magnify it, the worse it gets. And then they start thinking about it continuously. When they're by themselves, they start thinking about it. And after a while, it becomes, this little thing becomes a big thing. And is it really real, or is it just what what they think they know? So those are things you have to look at. When people get broken, what causes it? Trauma, difficulties. And I don't want to belabor it, but because your mom and I graduated together. And last time I saw Sharon, we were at a, well, no, actually, we had the kids in preschool too. But we were at our last class reunion. We got 50 years this year. Yeah. And she had enjoyed that class reunion so much. So don't ever say, oh, yeah, we need to get together. I'll talk to you soon, because you never know when you get to talk to that person again. So you just got to keep those things in mind. But trauma, difficult experiences, events like abuse, bullying, death can leave lasting emotional scars. Define losses, they are divorce, death, loss of a job. It can be friends, your self-worth. We got to talk. Financial losses, we need to do a work, yeah, because that was good. But all of those things, and you're not overcoming what is really going on. So like I think about financial results. I've always made good money, but I have not always spent my money wisely. And so, yeah, and so you got to admit that. I could just sit back and say, oh, I never made enough money. Nope, you got to be smart. And don't be afraid to go and say, hey, Angie, I need to sit down and talk with you because I am not connecting the dots correctly. Lack of belonging and connection, that's what we find with a lot of our kids in school. They don't connect with certain groups. You don't want them to connect with certain groups. When they don't connect, depression hits. They don't know how to handle it. We get self-harm. We get the emo look, all dark. We get isolation. We get, I don't want to go to school. What's wrong? I don't know. So they want to come and pay me the amount of money they pay me to take care of their mental health, when really parents, if you're parents, just talk to your kids. Just talk to them. Don't be afraid to see what's going on in their lives. If they're young, if they're older, if they're grown, talk to them and just make sure you find out what's going on in their lives. Sometimes you want to hear and sometimes you won't. But you know what? Then that's the time you pray to God and say, okay, God, what do you want me to tell my child right now? So you got to do that. Shame and self-criticism. That's the reason why people don't come to other people and talk to them, because they're afraid of being shamed. Well, you mean you went on a diet? Kid, you went on a diet and you only lost 2 pounds? Girl, that's a shame. Which, by the way, I got to go on a diet because I had a hard time finding some clothes today. Woo, yeah. So no, but but sometimes people will do that. You tell them, I'm trying to eat healthy, and they only lose 2 pounds. You only lost 2 pounds? Oh, I went on a diet and I lost 10 pounds. I don't know why you couldn't lose any more than that. Because you're you and I am me. That's it. And then self-criticism. Sometimes people can be so hard on themselves because they actually could not meet that goal, or they can't meet the goal of someone else who they put more into than what they should. And then overwhelmed and burned out. That one is tough because we get overwhelmed with trying to please everybody. We get overwhelmed, we get burned out with everything, trying to please everybody. And then what do you have left for yourself? Who did the cups? Was it you? The empty cups? That's it. But I think we almost start with a full cup. I don't even think we go to middle. We just go from full and then we're empty. And that's it. That's it. And so we got to start doing better. So when you are on full, you should go to half. And if you feel like you're getting burned out, if you pray and ask God, what I need to let go of. If you see a therapist, come ask me. I'll tell you what you need to let go of. Well, I won't tell you because I tell people I can't tell you what to do. But if I were you, I would prioritize. And that's the other word, prioritize. Prioritize the things that you do. You don't have to do everything for everybody just because you want acceptance. Do what you can, prioritize it. Life is short. Enjoy your family, enjoy your life, and enjoy who you are as a person. And then mental health conditions like depression, grief, anxiety significantly impact emotional well-being and create feelings of brokenness. That's where your brokenness comes in at. I was like you, I had to check this out. I'm like, I'm not broken. No, guess what? We've all been broken, but we grow from our brokenness. And I can't remember the song by Kelly Clarkson, but I think she talked about, because I don't know all the songs, but anyway, I think she talked about scars or being broken or something. But you're beautiful from, or is that, who sang that song? Don't worry about it, young folks, because they're looking at me like, what is she talking about? But anyway, but there have been a couple of songs out there talked about people who have been scarred and who have been broken, but you grow from that. And what you've grown from, it makes you beautiful. So I regretted that my marriage didn't work out, but you know what, honestly, I probably didn't marry the one that was intended for me to get married to, but I will never, ever regret having my children and my nephews and having the life that we've had together. Never, ever. And so those are things that you look at. So when I went to Battle Creek Public Schools to work at that job, I put in for one job, didn't get that job, went home, head down, feeling all sad. My mom said, she said, that job wasn't for you. She said, just pray on it. I said, what do you mean pray on it? I said, I want that job. I need it. She said, pray on it. She said, God will answer your prayers. 2 days later, I got the job that I had at the school for almost 20 years, and it was one that I didn't even apply for, and it was one that I did and was able to connect with everybody that I need to connect with. I see a lot of the same kids now who are grown with their own children. It was good. It was what God had designed me to do. So I needed to stay where God wanted me to. Every time I did that, things worked out. Did I get overwhelmed and burned out sometimes? Yes. And when you have a heart for working with people, you will get burned out and you will get overwhelmed. But we do know that we have a Savior who is number one and will protect us and will keep us. He will bridle our tongue. He will give us the knowledge that we need. And all we got to do is just have faith, trust, and believe. So I would tell anybody, once you get into a situation and you do feel like I'm broken, you're broken, but you become bent because you don't stay broken. You end up becoming that you might have broke. I even had plants that I broke and I taped them back together. Sometimes it will connect again, sometimes it won't. But you know what? It's still bent, but then if that particular stem didn't grow, new life came. And that's what you want. You want new life. We should never be doing the same thing we did 10 years ago. We need to continue to grow. We need to continue to be that person that God created us to be. So I wanted to, for me, even though I'm a mental health therapist, psychotherapist, all that stuff, I still rely on my scriptures. And I was even telling Pastor Sweet one day, I said, I use what he will preach on Sundays because a lot of times it fits what I need to tell my clients. And they never know where it comes from until I tell them, because I might say something like, yeah, you know what? In church on Sunday, we talked about that, and I'm going to let you know what he said. And they love it. So you don't be afraid to open that door. But when you see somebody, I want to tell you this real quick, and then I'm going to give you my scriptures, but when you see somebody who is struggling, who is having some issues, who may be sad, and that can come in different ways. You know, things are going on with them in life. Don't run from them. Don't act like they don't exist. Go to them. And sometimes you can just say, hey, if you need me, I'm here. You know, or is there a word I can give you? Or is there anything I can do for you? Because you never know when you do that, you never know how you're going to touch somebody. Sometimes people don't come to you because they don't think you want to be bothered with them. They don't think you want to hear what's going on with them. Sometimes you need to just go ahead. And if they tell you, I'm fine, sometimes I'll tell people when they come in the office, I'm like, how you doing today? Oh, I'm good. No, you're not, because if it was good, you wouldn't be sitting here with me on a Friday afternoon. Come on now. And then it really breaks it up, because like a lot of times when I do therapy, I don't stay, I use a little bit of humor just because I want them to feel comfortable. And so sometimes you can't, I have kids that come in, this is so silly, we play Candyland, right? So in Candyland, you got the 4 little figurines and whatever, So I've got a couple of really severe ADHD kids. So they can last pretty good through half the game. Then all of a sudden, that little green man will come and hit my red man like this. And I'm like, I know you didn't just hit my little red man, right? And they're like, I said, okay, fine. So I pick my card and get ready to move it, and then I'll move their little green man out the way. And they just love that because it's interaction. So we have a little tussle with the little Candyland people, But then that will open up that door for them to tell me why they felt like they wanted to hit something or they were feeling a little aggressive. Because, again, like I said, schools are they're difficult. They don't have that support like they used to. And I pray for our people that work in the schools. I've got 3 of them in here right now for sure. I know Ashley, my son Stan, and my son Lance. They all 3 work in schools in different districts, and it's hard. And you don't get that support like you used to. So these are some of when we talk about brokenness, I'm just going to give you some Psalms. I'm going to give you some scriptures that I use, just so you know that when you feel down, you feel low, you feel like God has turned his back on you. He hasn't turned his back on you. Open up that Bible and just see what it has to say about certain subjects. So Psalms 34:18 says, the righteous cries out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Got thank you, Jesus. Psalms 51:11, don't cast me from your presence or take your Holy Spirit from me. My sacrifice, O God, is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. You, God, will not despise me. Psalms 147:3 says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. The Lord delights in those who fear him, who put their hope in his unfailing love. Isaiah 65:14, my servant will sing out of the joy of their hearts, but you will cry out from the anguish of heart and wail in brokenness of spirit. Sometimes when I feel down or sometimes when things are going on in my life, sometimes I don't want to hear a lot of preaching, but I will put that word in music on, and the music will minister to my soul and to my heart, and it will calm me down, and it will help me understand that right now you need to just sit and listen. And that's what I would suggest to any of you. When you feel like that, pull those scriptures out. Pull out your gospel music. I got my little playlist I listen to. I listen to it at home when things might get tight, a little touchy at home. I put my music on, and you just would be surprised the peace of the Lord that comes over your home. You got to do that. My servant will sing out of the joy of their hearts, but you will cry from anguish of your hearts and wail brokenness of spirit. Isaiah 57:15 says, for this is what the high and exalted one says, he who lives forever, whose name is holy. I live in a high and holy place, but also with the one who is contrite and lowly in spirit, to receive the spirit of the lowly and revive the heart of the contrite. Let us then with confidence draw near to them of grace. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. And my last one for this part is Isaiah 66:2. Has not my hand made all these things, and so they came into being, declares the Lord. These are the ones I look on with favor, those who are humble. Oh, shoot, a phone call came through. I'm so sorry. Hold on just a second. That must have been a good one, because there was no reason for that phone to come through like that. I'll read it again. There we go. Isaiah 66:2. Has not my hand made all these things, and so they came into being, declares the Lord. These are the ones I look on with favor, those who are humble and contrite in spirit, and who tremble at my word. So what I would leave you with is this. If you have been through life, you're gonna need something. My something has always been God. I've always turned to him, and I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes when I was going through things, I would get mad, but not so much mad at God, but I would get mad because I'm like, I see all these other people, why do I have to go through this? One day in my prayers, I was saying that, and you know what he told me? He said, why not you? What did my son go through? So we're in our Easter season right now, because Easter's tomorrow, the risen Christ and everything. Why not us? Why do we feel like we have to be so favored that we can't be broken, that we can't learn from our brokenness, that we can't have people sent to us to be able to teach us how to live life differently? Admit what's going on inside you. Get to the core reason why you feel like you do. Don't be ashamed of it, but you got to work through it. If you don't work through it, you're always going to stay stuck. And you're never going to get better. And it's always going to be somebody else's fault. And that's when they say, well, I'm just broken. I don't know what to do. You know what to do. Stop playing. And that's exactly what I'm saying to you right now. Is exactly what I would tell my clients in a session. So if they weren't too broken. But one thing I can say with my clients, when I do talk to them, we don't work towards being and remaining here. We work towards higher ground. So I did buy this the other day, and I like this, what this had to say, and I'm going to end. It says, today is a new day. You can start fresh, wipe the slate clean, begin again. Today you can embrace kindness, work for the common good, practice compassion, stand up for justice, listen with your whole heart, offer hope, love well, go for it. Aspire for more. Make a difference. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change, people. Be the change. Help somebody who's broken. If you can help them, reach out and help them. And that is it.
So I want to make a couple comments. This right here, give her a round of applause. Winnie Wallace and her daughter, Brittany, did this. One of the things that they did for the speaker, for the mothers that we honor, one of these are yours before you leave today. And I was looking out there, and I was like, where's my pastor at, and where's co-pastor at? I didn't know that they moved back there, because I sure was getting ready to shoot them a text. So... But one of the things that I wanted to share about, not only I'm a member of this church as well, and I'm a proud member of this church. One of the things that's really special about this year conference, I did it at home. I did it at home this year. And I was welcome to do it at home. When I went to co-pastor, I was like, this is what, she was like, okay. She says, I got my shoes on. What we doing? What we doing? Where you at? The support was phenomenal. My pastor, he supported it. He was like, okay, he said, hold on. I want to share a story. We were talking one time about what I was going through. I was coming through a really tough time. 2024, I had lost my husband. I actually lost my husband a day after the conference last year. And I was going to take a year off. I wasn't going to even have the conference. I was just going to sit down. And God says, no, you got to push through. You got to push and you got to press. And So I had to figure out what that looked like. So I was pushing, I was pressing, and it was sometimes I was crawling in here. But when I wasn't in here, I was being held accountable. My pastor didn't let me fall. He kept calling me. He kept reaching out to me. He kept showing me love. I had, my godmother, I had check-ins. We call them check-ins and check-outs. She didn't let a day go by. She was checking in. And one day she says, I probably get on your nerves because I call you and check. I said, no, them check-ins is what saved my life. My godmother, she did not. Them check-ins what saved my life, because when you go through a traumatic loss, being with somebody for 25 years, and you lose everything, you even lost yourself. And last year I was very broken. I was very broken, but the good thing is God didn't let me sit in the brokenness. But I didn't even know I was broken. I had to first identify where I was at, because you got to identify where you at to get to the other side, and then you got to take the steps to get there. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. And another thing, I remember talking to my pastor one day. We were talking about building a house, and I'll never forget this. He was like, Kia, you got everything you need to build a house. He said, but there's one problem. I'm like, what? He said, you got all the tools when we're building. He says, but I'm up here. You're up here. You're way up here, and I'm still in the basement. I'm trying to get you to come down here, and then we come up together. Sometimes when life hits you, it doesn't hit you to make you go underneath. Sometimes you have to come down here and get built back up where you got to go to your next pathway. So I'm a great leader, but I had to be told by another great leader, okay, we got to stop this, and we got to trust the process. So I'm here to tell you, trust the process. Don't fight the process. Go through the storm, because after the storm, that's where your rainbow is at. That's where your sunshine is at. But if you fight the storm, you'll never get to the rainbow. And I'm here to tell you, I was to the storm last year, but now I'm in my rainbow season. So if he did it for me, he would do it for you, and he gonna do it for you. But you have to trust the process. So now I'm back down there with my pastor. So now I'm waiting on that guidance when we go move next, because the thing with me being such a great leader, when Kia want to move. And when he said, okay, you got to pump the brakes. I'm like, why we got to pump the brakes? He says, because we got to get this figured out first before we can get to that. So that is how life is. Life twists us around, but we got to have the twist. We got to have the turns. We got to have all that to go as part of the process. So, and I just want to thank all the women on this panel again. This is a panel of excellence. And I want to say that again, of excellence. So, and then we're going to move on to the next one.
Three and a fur baby, Rubante Rue Buckner. A proud mother of three and a fur baby, Rubante Rue Buckner has a Bachelor of Arts degree from Western Michigan University, criminal justice in sociology, and a Master of Science degree from Ferris State University, Criminal Justice Administration, where she graduated with high honors. Rue has spent the last 20 years connecting with and empowering youth, with a particular focus on at-risk youth. Her genuine commitment to learn their lingo, take interest in what they enjoy doing, and build a relationship based on positive experiences and respect is her foundational approach to encouraging youth to open up about their life struggles. Building rapport and positive change takes time. Knowing this, Rue's passion is to continue empowering at-risk youth to get comfortable with being uncomfortable by reclaiming their future and achieving things they never thought possible. A proud mother.
So the young lady, Miss Rue, she is my sister. When I asked her about this speaking engagement a year ago, she was like, Kia, now you know, I do not like public speaking. She says, but how can I ever tell you no? I said, you can't. I said, so you're in, right? She was like, yes. I told her, I said, the reason why we need you, because they need to hear your story. See, our story is not just for us. Our story is to help heal others. So your story needs to be told. Everybody got a different story for a different reason, but the outcome is to heal and for people to be able to get that. So further ado, Miss Rue.
How are y'all? I just got to start with telling y'all scare me, okay? So Kia is right. When she asked me to speak, none other, she heard me somewhere else, and I said yes. What I didn't hear was women. Okay, I'll speak as long as it has to do with youth, but when it comes to adults, I'd be like, oh, I can't do that one. I've tried so many times to get out of this. I just tried just now. I'm like, I think I got to go to the bathroom. But here I am. So in order to get through this, I just have to see everybody as youth. So I'm going to cover one thing because I've already been asked, my name. Y'all, this is my story, remember, okay? It doesn't mean anything. My grandma's name was Ruby, and this is the story I tell people, and I've stuck to it, and those that know me can attest to that. She had me. She threw 4 letters in between the B and the Y, and that's how you got Rue Bante. That's it, that's all. Some know me as Rue, others know me as Tay. Rue is this new name that has come about. Stand the man. Get the good angle. Come on, Stand the man. So we're gonna do a story time. So broken. I'm gonna try to get through this. I have been broken. I am not gonna say that when she gave the title, I didn't say I wasn't broken because I know that I have been. I don't understand why God allows me to keep being broken. So as I go through this story, I'm gonna say, we always hear about the PKs, the preacher's kids, but we forget about the EGs, the evangelist grandkids. I was born in Maryland, so when we moved here, I didn't really know what that was like coming to Michigan. All I knew is I wanted to live with my grandmother, so she let me do that. And when you take away from today is your silence serves no one, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So every story I'm telling has to do with that. I didn't want to leave my mommy, but I was a granny's kid at heart. So when she said it to me, I thought she was playing. So we moved her for a year, and she told me she found a place in Battle Creek, she was leaving. I basically chucked up the deuces, as Chris Brown say, okay? And I was like, I'm staying here. That's what I thought. That's what I thought I wanted to do. But Granny had too many people inside of her house. We're gonna get to that, right? I'm an only child, if those that don't know. And so the noise got too loud for me. So I moved back with Mommy when I was in the 3rd grade. What she failed to tell me is the neighborhood that we were going to be living in. So my life was supposed to be simple. As an only child raised in a single-parent household, my mommy did everything she could to make sure that I had the best life. And honestly, she did just that. The nonstop playtimes, shopping trips, vacations, and carefree moments mitigated the obstacles that came with our socioeconomic insufficiency. For me, my mommy's unconditional love and undeniable commitment to make sure that I wanted for nothing made it much easier to overcome the obstacle of the absence of my father. More importantly, it made it easier to overcome the fact that we lived in a predominantly white neighborhood, and regardless of my skin color, I could accomplish anything I set my mind to. She instilled in me that no matter what, I could always be myself. Okay. Well, that notion of mommy's love only got me so far, because despite her motherly love and advice, I had to learn to fit into a world that looked nothing like me. To give you a visual, there were 15 African Americans at my elementary school. I attended Verona when I moved here, which for me meant 3 African Americans in my grade. I happened to be the only one in my class, 3rd through 6th grade. Little did I know, this would be coined as whitewashed. My 7th grade year, also my 6th grade year, also my first year of middle school, is when my life took a 360. Middle school is often described as a chaotic period in a young person's life, a time characterized by immense change and growth. For me, it was no different. The hallways suddenly seemed longer, the faces unfamiliar, and the chatter around me became a blur. It was the time when I had to navigate the complexities of adolescence while grappling with the realization that my identity was a topic of discussion. The shift from elementary to middle school was more than just the academic transition. It was a cultural and social awakening. I had to understand the implications of being one of the few African Americans in a predominantly white neighborhood. My peers often questioned why I appeared different, why my hair didn't fall straight, because y'all, I thought I could go in the bathroom and put water on my hair too. So it didn't stop when I got to middle school, okay? I remember them as we in Easter weekend. It's so funny because she get me all dolled up, y'all. But when I got home on Monday, that little press that I had to sit through, baby, it was gone because that water was in my hair, okay? While my hair didn't fall straight or while my skin was a darker shade of brown, yet I acted white. These seemingly innocent inquiries forced me to confront my own identity and the social constructs surrounding race. Mommy always told me that knowledge was power, and she encouraged me to learn about my heritage and embrace it proudly. Always have. Yet she moved me in this neighborhood. Asked her that all the time. She shared stories of our ancestors, tales of resilience, bravery, and the indomitable spirit of our people. Again, you're telling me these stories, but you moved me in this neighborhood. I get it now, right? So now I understand why she was telling me that. So I didn't lose sight of who I was. Yet, despite the knowledge and pride my mommy instilled in me, fitting into a space where you are constantly the other was a challenge. I found solace in my studies and extracurricular activities. That's what got me through. Academics provided a structured environment where merit was quantifiable and recognition came through my hard work. My mommy supported my endeavors wholeheartedly, attending every school event, cheering the loudest at every competition. Her unwavering encouragement became my anchor in the turbulent sea of middle school and the tsunami I was about to face in high school. Sports became a significant part of my identity in high school. Tiffany used to challenge me a lot, y'all. We ain't gonna say who won, but it is what it is. I joined the basketball and track team, where the value of speed and endurance outshadowed racial differences. My teammates became my friends, and through sweat and perseverance, we found common ground. Basketball and track allowed me to channel my frustrations, where every sprint and layup I completed was a testament to my determination and resilience. But this wasn't enough for my naysayers, and my desire to fit in became a powerful force of tug of war. I find myself mimicking the behavior, speech, and attitudes of those around me, hoping to blend in seamlessly. I adopted the slang, the fashion, and the interests of my peers, even if they didn't resonate with my personality. The fear of standing out or being labeled as different was pervasive. However, this constant effort to conform came at a cost. I began to lose sight of my true self, burying my authentic identity under layers of pretense. The pressure to fit in to a sense of internal conflict as I grappled with the disparity between who I was and who I was trying to be. I began changing who I had adopted to be to who they thought I should be, because in high school, the last thing you want to do is not fit in. And this is something that my mommy wouldn't grow to understand for another 3 years when I became a single mother at 19 years old. 99, August 26. I was at a football game. And at the time, I got a call from my then stepfather who said, I'm on my way. This football game ain't over. It ain't even halftime. Where I'm going? He says, Lansing. There could only be one reason I'm going to Lansing. And I know you're not going to get ready to tell me what I think you're telling me, but nobody's talking to me. I got to Lansing, walked in 1111 West Washtenaw, and there was my grandmother, cold as ice. And all I could think was, okay, I'm supposed to pray, I'm supposed to do all this thing, but God, you don't hear me, because ain't no way you just left me here on this earth with these people and done took my granny. The one person, now anybody know me, know I'm a mama's girl, I'm a ride or die, but my granny, baby, I couldn't do nothing wrong. I was the favorite, I did what I wanted to do, and that was just life. I struggled. 99, there was a change. Mommy can't tell nobody what the change is because I'm not talking. I never seen my mommy cry, ever, until my granny's funeral. Never saw her cry, never saw struggle. I didn't even know what struggle was. I just knew I was the only child. Told myself I ain't like kids. Listen, when you're an only child and you get in environments, take me home, because I need my silence. What you mean, no? Hold on. I don't know that life. I still don't know it now, but she got 3 grandkids, and I think she forgot. All I remember about that day is that I went to get in the casket, because I wasn't staying here. There was no way I could survive. I remember someone having to pull me off my grandmother's casket because I was going to pull it down. So I began to say, you got to send me something in order to survive. Well, what I didn't know was that it's going to be a teen mom. I said, okay, Lord, this is not what I meant, but here I am. You know, when they say your mother knows, they knows. Because I just knew when I was walking up to her door, she wasn't going to know. Y'all, this day she met me outside. I'm walking. She looked at me, she said, you pregnant, ain't you? What? I ain't even said nothing. Yes, I am. She said, okay, but when she walked away, because if you don't know me, the last thing I want to do is disappoint Sandra. I was just like, Lord, what am I going to do? But when I got in the house, she said what she's always said, we will get through this. Now, you also know me. Y'all know I don't like people. My kids know what I mean when I say that, and everybody do. So in my head, I thought, you getting ready to tell all the family. Because, you know, that's just stuff we do. Okay, till it got to me, because I'm like, I ain't doing that. Told some people. They said what they said. Okay. Now, me being me, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, I say what I want to say. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to be unapologetically me. I don't care who is in the room. I don't care what you got to say. Somebody could say, your mama wouldn't do that. Well, I'm not her. I'm not her. And I had to grow into that. I remember I called my Aunt Reen, who is here now. And I said, Aunt Reen, I got something to tell you. She said, what? I said, I'm pregnant. She laughed, that laugh that she does. The one I call an instigating laugh. She said, okay, well, you got 9 months to get ready. Now, mind you, told everybody else before then, but I'm talking about this aunt. Like, this is my favorite aunt. And I'm about to tell the world, because I really don't care. I have a lot of aunts, y'all. My granny was the oldest of, how many, 13? 12. So imagine that. But Aunt Reen, that's my favorite aunt. So that's just like having to tell my mommy. So when she said that, I'm like, oh, okay. She told me to get ready to move over. Again, I got a child, so I ain't important now, right? Okay. Aunt Reen has been here every step of the way. It is, so we get through that. So in my mind, I said, okay, I'm broken. You just fixed me by giving me this child, because I'm still broken from 99. And as I realized this kid asked me to do this, I still am. I still have not went to my grandmother's gravesite because I just cannot do it. So he gives me this child. Y'all, she the opposite of me, but we don't get there, okay? It is no secret that the odds are stacked against teenage moms. Pursuing a brighter future did not come without obstacles. As a teen mom, I knew that the circumstances were difficult, but part of me wanted to at least try to find happiness in the moment. Rejecting tailgating at football games and the newest blockbuster required a deliberate choice to exclude myself from the majority and often made me feel left out. Mind you, I'm an only child. So being alone, that's what I do. But now I have this child. I may not have known the statistics back then, but I knew that creating a good life for my daughter wasn't going to be easy. I also knew that to have a chance at all, I had to believe in my ability to be successful, no matter what anyone else said. Despite the challenges, I was fortunate to have a supportive mommy who showed me what unconditional love who showered me with unconditional love and encouraged me to pursue my dreams. Her support, however, came with limitations as she had no prior experience navigating the dual demands of parenting and academic life. It was the little gestures of encouragement from friends and teachers and mentors that made a significant impact during my college years. They too reminded me that my goals were still within reach, even if the path to achieving them had become more tiring. It was the small acts of support and encouragement that ultimately got me to overcome my ambitions and fears of the unknown and pursue my bachelor's degree. I made it my mission in life to get an education, and by putting one foot in front of the other, I made my way all the way to graduate school. Graduate school, let alone college in general, presented a new set of challenges and opportunities. I had chosen a vigorous one-year program. Financial constraints, lack of time, and the need for childcare were significant barriers. Now let me say, in this unconditional love, she told me that she would keep my oldest, Zaria, while I finished my academic career. I looked at her and I said, I know most of my age would take you up on that, but I'm gonna have to tell you no. Now, I heard from a lot of people, you crazy, I would've left my child with this, but I couldn't because I was broken, and so God gave me her. So I can't leave what was meant to fix me behind with my mother, so I took her with me. I chose, and so then we get to graduate school. She tells me again, same offer, because now I'm moving and I'm going to Fair State. And I'm like, nope, she got to go with me. Determined to finish graduate school, scholarships, part-time jobs, and a strong determination to succeed became my lifelines. This decision was driven by the desire to provide the best possible future for my daughter and to achieve personal fulfillment. I chose a major that aligned with my passion and my future career aspirations, knowing that education was the key to a better future for both me and her. Graduate school was even more demanding, but the skills I had developed over the year, time management, resilience, there's that word again, and perseverance, served me well. Now I have to enter the professional world. Entering the professional world as a young mother posed its own set of challenges. Because when people see me, they don't know me from hand. And then when they ask me stuff, I say, oh no, I have to get my daughter. I get all the eyes. They're like, what? Yep, had her at 19, sure did. Somebody said, you proud of that? Absolutely am. Because I was broken. So I received this gift. Again, nothing like me, y'all. She's so quiet. She go with the flow. Girl, what? She barely cried as a baby. When I say I asked God to give me someone opposite of me that I could love my way. And that's what he did. There were moments of doubt and instances where I faced discrimination or judgment due to my background. However, I remained focused on my goals and leveraged my experiences to build a strong career foundation. I sought out mentors, networked with professionals in my field, and continued to set ambitious objectives. Being a teen mom was definitely one of the most rewarding, yet hardest things I've ever had to face. In the end, I relied on myself and set small goals. Some days, I just focused on surviving. I refused to give in to self-pity, and I used my hardships to motivate me to work harder. Instead of letting my situations define me, I found ways to accomplish what some said was impossible. But I still know what it's like to feel insecure about where you come from and what you lack. It is something I will carry with me throughout my life and career. Despite the rejection, judgment, and criticism, I was able to create a pretty good life for myself by making my daughter my highest priority. Nevertheless, my education and my career goals have been shaped by my background, and I will continue to aim despite the challenges that may come my way. So I get done with Ferris and I move back home. I'm still trying to figure out life because now I'm back in the same environment that broke me. At the time, if you know her by twin, that's my favorite cousin. Most of y'all know her by twin. She does have a name, which is Jamaica, by the way. And her mom is sitting back here. That is my favorite cousin. I don't know what happened. We into it. We're not talking. I'm broken again. And I'm like, what do I do? I asked God to send me somebody else, and he sent me my goddaughter. Now I'm like, why would you send me a baby when me and her mother are not even talking? She is my namesake. I was able to name her. And it was like I found that joy all over again that I had when I had my daughter. I might have taught her some things that her Kanana didn't want her to do, like getting on her table. Because I had to find laughter in moments when I felt broken. I remember the day when she came in, she's like, Moni, why are you on my table? I said, Mommy, watch this. And I broke up with my song. Do the piglet, do the piglet. And she broke out. She said, I see what this is. So I get through that. And I said, you know what, I can't do this. I said, I understand he's bringing me kids, but for what? What is the purpose? I am my only child. I don't got time for nobody else's child. Everything that I did involved children. But it was the children that nobody else wanted to deal with. I was one of those children. It's not because I didn't come from a stable home, single parent. I mean, when I say I got any and everything I wanted, I mean just that. So I wasn't lacking that. I wasn't lacking the love from my mother. I wasn't lacking that. I was missing something else, and it started with my grandmother. Because I don't like to cry. I don't like to be vulnerable, because then that means I got to trust you. And I don't trust easy because I've had too many people that I thought was riding for me, and it turns out I was only riding for them. One thing I'm going to never do is judge anybody, because, again, I am who I am. Always been that way. Outspoken, so that's not me. But I always, being in the predominantly white neighborhood, I always just wanted somebody to see me for me. Not for the loud black girl, not for the angry black girl, but for who I was. So the youth that I started connected with was just that. But what I didn't know comes from that is more brokenness, because when you step away from those youth, then what do you have? Because every time I ask for something, he sends me youth. Losing people close to me is hard, so I get through one hurdle. Then I have my son, 8 years, because when I had her, I said I ain't having no more for 8 years. Didn't know that would happen, but it really did happen. In that time, my grandfather was waiting for this grandson. He passed away. Named my son after him. And then there's my it, who is my Aunt Bobby. Lost her too. Now I broke it again, because all the people that I'm connected with, he keeps taking from me, and I don't understand why. So I have to get through that hurdle. And all of this, I'm going through health things, just different things that I'm keeping inside. I don't say anything, I just keep going. So I get in a career choice, to fast forward you. I'm with youth. It's truancy, right? It's doing what I love. Might not necessarily be what my degree is, but it's doing what I love, because these are the youth that are not seen. I'm taking truant kids, and mind you, I'm very transparent. I let them know, you either do this or I got to file a petition and we're taking you to court. Like, I'm very honest. I have truant kids that when I go into their homes, I'm like, well, hold on, I had the whole agenda, and I'm realizing they truant because some of them got to take care of their older siblings. I walked in some that I'm sure everybody in this room would call CPS, and I would look at you like, that's not why I'm here. They can't help their circumstance or their situation. Do they have food? Yes. But there's a fishy diaper. That's not why I'm here. I'm here for the youth, and I always stand by that. I will argue a parent up and down if it means I got to support their child. That's just who I am. So November 15th, 2022 comes around. I'm sitting at my computer. And this time I've gone through a lot of stuff, like I said, my health stuff, but I'm one of those ones, I don't like to talk about things unless you are close to me. I'll walk away from my computer and I come back, and I can't get in, I have no access. I jokingly text my supervisor and I said, dang, I know I didn't get you no Starbucks today, but did you fire me? This is how we always joked around. She said, well, yes and no, I didn't fire you, but we're all fired. Who's all? They let go of everybody in administration, no warning, no nothing. I said, you have got to be kidding me. Mommy's sitting on the couch and she says, what's wrong? I said, here we go again. God is real funny. But does he even hear me at this point? Because I made these relationships with these youth. Again, all you hear me talk about is youth. I ain't saying the parents are not important, but it's the youth that I got to leave behind. The ones that I saw. Because I only had a few adults who saw it in me, who really understood who I was and what that meant. So I'm broken again in everything I have going on. Yes, my grandmother was an evangelist. Yes, my mommy is in the church, y'all, so much. I'm like, my granny told me when I turned this age, I ain't had to go to church no more. My mommy reminded me my granny wasn't here no more, and I said, ain't that something? This is what I'm talking about, right? Ain't this something? I know you my mama, but dang, that ain't what granny said. So I'm like, okay, this is the way. So what am I going to do now? Mommy said, pray. I said, no, I'm going to leave that to you. Because he don't hear me. He do not hear me. He done took this person, this keeps happening. January 30th, 2023, I get a new job. It's with youth again. Okay, I have a purpose to fill, but why? Why am I with youth again? So when Kia asked me to do this conference, I was well in the career, ready to do it. When it just fast forward around, and she messaged in March and asked what our message was going to be, I said, I would love to give you that. However, I was just told that in 2 days I would not have a job. So here I am again, jobless. I have nothing to share. I don't know what I'm going to say. I told Mommy I'm not doing this because what do I have to share? And I realized, okay, yes, your silence serves no one. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is very uncomfortable for me, but I am who I am. And so I realized that my story serves a purpose. But I get tired, y'all. I get tired of being broken. I get tired of having to call on the same people because I don't know what to do. Again, don't get me wrong. Mommy gonna always tell me to pray, and I'm always tell her again, I'm gonna leave that to you. And she knows I mean just that. Doesn't mean I don't know how to pray, what to do, but I feel like he doesn't hear me. And I said, here I am again. I build connection with youth that I have to let go of. Now, in this journey from 2023 till now, I ran a lot of youth programs. I was in Kalamazoo, and I pay attention to every youth that comes to my door. I can tell you every one of them if they walked in here right now. And so I had a summer camp. And I'm noticing things. I know there's kids that come to things, and I just look at every kid. And then she is here now, Kaylin. She was much like me, y'all. So much that I had to laugh a lot of stuff off. People say I let her get by with things. We're on a trip at Bynum Park Zoo. And this kid that Kaylin wanted nothing to do with rubbed her the wrong way. And when I tell y'all she went off, before I knew it, I stopped and I said, Kaylin, this is not what we do. How would you feel if X, Y, and Z happened? You don't have to like him or respect him. You don't have to like him, but you will respect him and you will apologize. She walked off and said, I'm not. Okay. They asked me what I was going to do. I said nothing. That was me. Because if I tell you to stay away from me, that's exactly what I mean. But what I didn't do was ridicule her in front of everybody like I had gotten. I put her to the side and I said, what's the problem? And she flat out said, he knows I don't like him. Why is he talking to me? I want nothing to do with him. And then I laughed. She was confused if this was a discipline moment or not. And to be honest, I didn't know which one it was because she was so honest. I'm like, this is not how this was supposed to go. And I said, you owe him an apology. While on the other side of me, y'all, I was cheering her on for speaking her truth. Because again, Kaylin is one that was quiet until the moment happened. So the youth knew I was looking to hire people. Y'all know she was one of the first ones. I said, oh, no, you're not going to work for me. She said, why not? I said, we can't do it. Well, she ended up getting hired, along with 5 others. He sends me youth. Again, y'all, these are my youth. Like, I love all youth, but the 5 youth that I had, when I say the way that their parents allowed me to be in their life was a moment that I needed a brokenness. They got me through a lot of things that they didn't know that they were getting me through. hearing some of their stories of the 5 that I had hired, I just saw myself. And I'm still asking, what is my purpose? So I hired Kaylin. Okay, I said, this is not going to be easy because this girl is not letting up. Like, I asked her to do something. She's like, you want me to do what? Again, this is me, all in me. So I'm like, okay. But we grew to get this relationship where I'm like, what is going on? I set her down like somebody did me. I'm not here to talk about it. You know, you got to talk about mental health. Because my son also came along in between there. He has epilepsy, so I'm broken again. Like, it's just a lot of things that was going on with me. And I remember sitting her down. I set them each down individually. And I'm just listening to her, telling, and you know, I'm feeding off her. We laughing, we doing a lot of things. And then she tears up. And I'm asking her what's wrong. And she said that outside of her parents, she's never had an adult that set her down and saw her for who she was. I'm not one to ridicule in front of people. I'm not one to tell you not to be who you are. You just have to do it gracefully and respectfully. I laugh with the youth. I get real with them. They know I don't do disrespect. We're going to treat everybody like equals, but I'm going to always have your back. So things just started happening while I'm in this position, and I found myself reaching out to my youth to come for me. I have not told not one parent, I'm texting a child, any of that. These are my 5 that I've hired. One day, Kaylee must have came in and said something in summer camp, and I was like, I have not seen your mom. I'm like, Kaylin, where's your mom? Like, I'm just asking her, just generally. She said she works 3rd shift. I said, oh, okay. I get that. She said, well, what that mean? I said, she probably tired of dealing with you. She said, what? I said, because I already know what that's like. So now I understand again, because it's not my job. I'm in a single-parent household. People thought that because mommy wasn't always physically there, she wasn't there. No. So I saw the same thing with her, and I also saw some of the times when we would do stuff and this look on her face because my parent can't be here. So I find myself again like, Lord, I know I'm broken, but why do you keep using me to do? So now I'm sitting with her like, it's okay. I got you. I'm here. I'll record it, but I know how that feels. And we don't fault our parents, right? Because she got to sleep. And I'm telling her this, that she's angry with me. And she's telling me she's angry with her mom because she can't do X, Y, and Z. It's a natural. And I'm like, well, that's natural. Girls, man, my mama did X, Y, and Z. She said, what? I said, it's natural to be angry. But if she didn't go to work last night, how was you going to get here? She like, Ms. Rue, really, whose side you on now? But I'm talking to her and I'm building these relationships. But what I did not know was in the season of brokenness when I got connected to them is that these would be the youth that I would need even when I left. Brittany, I have to thank you for letting me be in Kaylin's life. So my greatest fear is always when I leave somewhere, the parents will not let me stay connected. I don't care how many times I text Brittany, she allows her daughter to be with me. One thing I do not do is intertwine professional and personal. I don't do those two. I never have until I met these youth. So Kaylin now gets to see, she's like, yeah, I like this Ms. Rue. I bet you do. Because this Ms. Rue is a little different, right? You're getting all the way live, Ms. Rue. But what they don't realize and what Brittany didn't realize is that I needed this more than what she thought. It was more than just can I pick Kaylin up to come with me? Although I know she only came because of my goddaughter. These two right here. But she trusted me with her child. Before summer camp, she didn't know me. Again, keep in mind, every time Kaylin's getting dropped off, she sleep right, she doesn't know me, but I got to know her. The day that I asked Kaylin for her mom's number, forgetting I had it anyway in Google Sheet, she like, I'm not giving you that because she knew what that meant. I don't need you no more. Now I'm going straight to mommy. And then it's March, and Brittany texted me and said she has her ticket here, and I'm like, oh my God. She's coming, and then she said, should I bring Kaylin? I wanted to tell her no so bad. Because y'all, I'm broken, I'm going through things, and I'm like, this is the last thing I need my youth to see. Or the parent to see, right? Even though they've gotten to know me. But then I realized, if I'm silent, it serves no one. And so they are here, and it means everything to me because even to this day, when I text Brittany for Kaylin, she allows that to happen. And as I'm in this broken season, it is the only way that I get through. They don't listen to what they heard because they got to know me. So I realized that my silence means nothing. So when they check on me, I have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because I have to tell my youth, I know you're depressed because I know what that feels like. So am I. Because that's something we don't talk about, right? I do, especially with them. I'm going through it right now. People say I'm strong, but this is just a poker face that I have to put on to get through the day. So when I tell y'all I try to do everything to get out of this, and then Brittany's text comes through about her and Kaylin, and I'm like, you can't back out. Because what example are you setting for the very youth that you saw pieces of you in if you quit right now? My other children are here, then my other baby, Tally, is here. And Reen's granddaughter, who has also got me through. And you know, y'all, when they going through, the first person they call is me. Because they know with them, I'm like, y'all just misunderstanding them. Like, I get it, right? I'm here for the youth. I get it. So as I'm going still now in my broken phase, I'm not even going to tell y'all that I'm not, because I am. That's how I'm getting through, is having to be uncomfortable. Having to continue to tell my story. People be like, dang, we seeing you out a lot. In my head, I want to be like, yeah, because that means I have no job. Like, now you got to tell people why they seeing you so much. But who wants to do that? My kids seeing me cry. They don't know what my mood is going to be from one day to the next. So now I got to get uncomfortable. I have to get comfortable being uncomfortable because now I have to sit my children down. I have to allow my 22-year-old daughter to support me. Y'all, that's humbling. And then I got my ride or die back there, Zandalin. If y'all know Zandalin, she'll play by her mama, okay? She'll reach and say, here, all I have is $1, but you can have it. Like, that is a lot to deal with when you're already broken. So if you take nothing from it, your silence serves no one. And trust me, Mommy always told me I had a gift to gab. It was either going to be a gift or a curse. I don't know. Y'all can ask Mommy how that went for her through my years. But needless to say, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive, y'all. So that tell y'all I knew who to get sideways with and who not, right? Because I'm still here. But through all of the brokenness, what I have had to learn is that you grow through what you go through. I don't understand this season right now because I feel like I've let some down, even though this situation I'm in now had nothing to do with me. But it's the youth that keep me going. It is the youth being able to be in their lives that keep me going while I am broken, as I am still there for them. It is so humbling to see them be here for me. It is very, very uncomfortable. So as I'm looking back, the journey from being a teen mom to pursuing a higher education and a career has been filled with both obstacles and triumphs. Each year brings new experiences and lessons, shaping me into the person who could stand proudly in their identity. The experiences have shaped my values, work ethic, and outlook in life. It has taught me the importance of resilience, self-belief, and the power of a supportive community. It has shaped my identity, influenced my career choices, and instilled in me a profound sense of purpose. The road has been difficult, but the rewards, the joy of raising my daughter, the pride of academic achievements, the fulfillment of my professional career, the youth that I've gotten to take in who are my babies, have made every challenge worthwhile. My journey serves as a testament to the fact that with perseverance and support, it is possible to overcome any obstacle and create a bright future for oneself. I carry with me the lessons of resilience and pride, knowing that my identity is a beacon of strength and a bridge to understanding and unity. So again, your silence serves no one. We have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I need everybody on their feet because that don't look like a person that's broken. That look like a person that conquered it. Miss Rue, you have conquered it, and you're not just doing it, you are walking in your purpose. You are living your purpose. You are doing your purpose. And the thing about it is, I felt the same way because as far as being broken, why do I want to be up here when I'm still going through things? But God put us there. He put us where he wants us to be. He's not looking for perfection. That's not what he's looking for. And the thing about it is, I didn't pick the panel. I'm going to tell you a secret. God picked the panel. So this was ordained. This was an ordained appointment from God. He lined the conference up, and he told me who to ask to go on the conference. Because what I do is I don't just start picking people because they're good speakers. I ask God, what is the message you want? What do you want to say? And who do you want to deliver the message? So this was your assigned appointment. And the thing about it is, one thing about when we lose something, because I struggle with that too. I lost everything financially. My daughters had to take care of me. I'm in that process right now, but this is the thing. This is the year of redemption. Everything that we lost, God is not going to give it back to us what we lost, because I told God, I don't want it how I lost it. You're going to have to double it. So I'm telling you right now, with your obedience and with your sacrifice, that job that you lost is because you got to go into your next season, and he going to have something better in your next season, and it's going to be making more money in your next season. So you just get ready for it. But you had to go through the process. That's the part that was hard for me, was to go through the process. But not only go through the process, you got to trust the process. Once you trust the process, then you're going to walk into the process, and that's where you at now. So guess what? Next year, you're going to have to come back and say the next job you got and what happened and where you at now, because it's coming. We want to hear it. Me and Rue is connected forever, so I'm just going to put it out there. One of the things that we're working on, God has really elevated this. Women empowerment. This was not a Kia vision. When I did Kia Solutions, I was doing business things. I still do all my business elements, but we are getting ready to go on tour. We're going to be going on tour in 2027. Rue is going to be one of the people on tour, so she got to get comfortable with not liking speaking. So I was setting her right in. So she would be one of the ones going on tour with me. We will be hitting 4 to 6 cities. That is coming up real soon. So this is what's gonna happen next. We're gonna have our final speaker come up. Then we're gonna take like 3 questions from the audience. Then we're gonna dismiss. People that would like to stay for prayer, stay for prayer. If you don't, we'll dismiss it at that time. But that's how we're going. I'm so proud. What do y'all think about these women? I didn't know if I was going to have to pass the Kleenex around to everybody. I just kept holding my head down like, God, I'm going to mess my makeup up, whatever. But it's just good. We're going to continue to move on with our final speaker. She about to end the house. I hope y'all ready for her.
Ashley Lorraine Jones, a leader, educator, and entrepreneur from Battle Creek, Michigan. With a lifelong passion for service, equity, and community development, Ashley has dedicated her career to supporting children, families, and underserved populations through education, social work, and innovative business ventures. Ashley holds an associate degree in early childhood education, a bachelor's degree in social work, and a master's degree in social work. Her professional journey began as an assistant teacher with Head Start of Battle Creek, where she served low-income families with compassion and commitment. She later joined Paws and Stripes Learning Center, continuing her work in early learning environments. Recognizing the need to support the holistic development of children beyond the classroom, Ashley transitioned into the field of social work. She began her clinical journey as a foster care worker at Bethany Christian Services, prioritizing family reunification. She went on to work as a therapist at Summit Point, serving individuals with developmental disabilities, and later accepted one of her most impactful roles as a clinical therapist at Star Commonwealth, where she provided trauma-informed care to adolescent boys aged 12 to 17. Following STAR's closure in 2020, Ashley joined Battle Creek Public Schools as a behavioral interventionist and now serves at the district level, providing behavioral and social-emotional support to approximately 4,000 students. In this leadership capacity, she advocates for trauma-responsive practices, equitable education, and the mental well-being of all students. As an entrepreneur and innovator, Ashley founded Work by Faith Home Care Agency, which provides high-quality, compassionate care to the elderly and developmentally delayed individuals throughout Calhoun County. Under her leadership, the agency has flourished over the last 5 years and was honored as the best home care agency in Battle Creek in 2025. Ashley's commitment to fostering growth and healing extends beyond direct service. She is the founder of Lorraine Youth Services, an organization dedicated to providing therapeutic support to children. Additionally, she is the author of a children's book series titled Little Miss Molly Ann, a creative initiative designed for children that are perfectly made different. Through this series, Ashley combines storytelling with valuable lessons to inspire and empower young readers. A dedicated community servant, Ashley has served on the Women's Co-op Board and currently sits as a board member of the Urban League of Battle Creek. Her steadfast commitment to community empowerment is deeply rooted in her faith and personal mission. As a proud member and prayer warrior at Emmanuel Covenant Church International, she exemplifies the role of faith in guiding leadership, resilience, and purposeful service. Ashley's personal journey is equally inspiring. As a single mother, she has overcome significant challenges while pursuing higher education and advancing her career. Her son is a senior at Battle Creek Central High School and will soon attend Kellogg Community College, majoring in business management with a concentrated study in HVAC. Her daughter will begin high school as a freshman, and Ashley considers motherhood her greatest accomplishment and motivation. Today, Ashley continues to inspire others as a motivational speaker and change agent for women and single mothers. Outside her professional and community roles, she enjoys shopping, dancing, and listening to R&B music. Simple pleasures that provide balance and joy in her busy life. Ashley Jones exemplifies leadership, resilience, and a profound commitment to making a lasting impact. Her journey is a testament to the belief that through faith, education, and service, one can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and positive change. Ashley Lorraine Jones, a leader, educator, and entrepreneur.
So this is my sister, my spiritual sister, my friend. I just love her, Miss Ashley.
It's so hard to get up here and not say, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I got the confidence to speak. I was birthed from Emmanuel Covenant Church International under the leadership of Senior Pastor Frederick James Sweet and his lovely wife, co-pastor Shannon Latrice Sweet. My ministry was birthed in this church, so whenever I grab a mic, I always have to give honor to God, because without him, I would not be here. And that is who I am. So it's so funny when Kia called me. I think everybody got the story when Kia called. When Kia called and told us the topic, I too was offended. No. But it definitely took me by surprise, right, in regards to the topic, a broken woman. I think we got kind of stuck on that, being broken. And if I can be honest with you, deep down inside, I resonated with it. So I'm going to start at a place of who I am and whose I am. And I like to speak to young women because I think it's very important to empower our youth. And everything that I have today and every piece of me and where I come from, everything started from the beginning. So my topic is radical faith in the storm. And it's so interesting, Rabante, that we thought it was Sister Winnie that would go before me, right? But I think it was purposeful. God set it up for you to go before me, because I got a word for you. So when we think about having radical faith in the storm, it starts in the beginning. I am a person of faith. I am a person of strong belief. It's rooted in me. Prayer was rooted in me. And I didn't know that I had that in me until I start coming to church and being under the leadership where somebody can pull things out of you. Because you can go to church your entire life and not really transforming who God has called you to be. But when you have a headship, they begin to pull the gifts outside of you. So although I was always a confident person, right, in the world, I wasn't too confident in Christ. So being under this leadership, it developed a prayer inside of me that I realized that God had called me for a purpose of prayer. So when I think of the beginning and what God did in my life, my mom told me just recently, she said, Ashley, when I was pregnant with you, I went through a whole season of depression, right? She said that she cried every day. But she said in the midst of her tears, the foundation that she grew up on, her mother was a founder of Open Door Church, okay? Which is now New Level Ministries. But she told me that she remembered rubbing her stomach and walking around and praying over me every single day. That was the beginning. One thing that I want to empower women to know is that a lot of things that take place in our lives have nothing to do with us. That you have to understand generationally things that come through the bloodline, right? So as a young girl growing up, I always had this sense of melancholy. And if you don't know what that is, it's an immense sense of sadness that will fall upon you. And you don't know where it comes from. You could be driving down the street and it could be the McDonald's sign and it just brings a sense of sadness. It could be a smell in the air that reminds you of a situation. It brings a sense of sadness. It could be a happy moment in your life, but in the blink of an eye, you get this sense of sadness. I'm going to always go back to the importance of having a home rooted in a church. And it's not just to come to clap your hands, right? But you got to be under some good word because it'll help you understand who you are and whose you are. So as I began as a young girl going through these moments of sadness in my life, I didn't quite understand it. And I would always have the foundation of God because that's where my family laid it. So I remember going through moments in my life of things that I could not control as a child that happened to me. So let's talk about it. As a child, we go through things. In an African-American community, we do a lot of sweeping things under the rug, right? We sweep a lot of things under the rug and we don't talk about it. And then it shows up in your adulthood. It shows up when you're parenting your children. It shows up in your marriage and relationships. It shows up in your friendships. So I remember being a young girl and I remember being molested as a child. And I felt broken. I felt so broken in that moment that I knew that God had forgotten about me. That all the things that I grew up learning and knowing about God, I just couldn't believe that he would allow these things to happen to me. I remember my grandmother praying for me. I remember the village that I had around me, the village that kept me when I wanted to give up. One of the things that we have to stop doing is pretending like things don't exist. You have to be able to address things head on. Depression happens, but you got to get to the root of why depression happens. Sadness will come upon you, but you have to get to the root of why you're sad. So as I go on throughout my years, I remember knowing who God is, but having a grudge against him in my heart because I couldn't understand why I had all these people around me, but nobody was there to protect me in the moment of my innocence. And let me tell you, at 39 years old, I had to let that thing go. Here we go. We fast forward even further down the line. Knowing who you are through whose you are. So although I knew that God was real, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was called to do. I didn't know my purpose. So we're traveling down the road. I am 21 years old, and I'm pregnant with my son. One of the most saddest moments of my life. And not because I was pregnant, but because I knew statistically what that meant for my life. And I did not want to grow up in poverty, and I didn't want my son to grow up the way that I saw society, how they would treat him. Because I'm a single mother. If you're not married, you single. Yes, the father was around, but I was single. We did not take vows. During that time of sadness, I remember avoiding church. I remember avoiding God. Yet still trying to find out who I am. One thing that was always a foundational piece of who I am was prayer. I never understood why, even at my brokest moments, I could lift my head up and say, Lord, help me. I'm going to tell you, young ladies, I don't care what you got going on in your life. When you are at the lowest point in your life, you ain't got to say much. If all you got in you was tears and God help me, he hears every cry. I knew that in that moment that I was fighting against generational curses. I began to go down the bloodline of the men in my family. If I can be honest with you, I sat down with one of my aunts at the table, and we began to break down the men in our families. And when I say every man up until my son in my womb had a substance use problem or mental health. But yet and still, God kept me broken. Shame will keep you from purpose. Unforgiving yourself, unforgiveness of self will keep you from purpose. I don't know how I was able to pick myself up, but I just knew deep down inside of me I wanted so much more for my life. And although I did not see it around me, something in me wouldn't allow me to give up. So I began to pray, little bit by little bit, while still doing what I wanted to do. So I think we got to resonate with that, is that God will bring you to a place of surrenderance. And my journey looks different from your journey. Don't allow people to keep you in a place of shame. Don't allow your choices and your decisions to make you feel like you can't get out. So I went to school, KCC. That was the only thing that kept me from giving up. I had to seek something higher than myself. I had to believe in myself. And although my village was around me, self-esteem is self-esteem. You got to feel it within yourself first. People around you can tell you how great you are and how powerful you are and the things that they see in your life, but until it resonates in your spirit, it ain't real. Understanding your purpose takes time. We get so caught up in things that have no value. Time is not on your side. I remember the journey of feeling broken, and I remember the journey of feeling lost and forgotten about and ashamed and abandoned, and I'm never going to get out of this. And God, how could you do this to me? It's important to communicate how you feel to people that care about you. It's important to speak your truth, no matter how ugly it is. It's important to own your mistakes. As young women, it's important to own your truth and own your mistakes. One thing about God is that He's never lied to me. He on his time. But he never lied to me. One thing that I want you to realize and understand is generations, right? The things that my mom had experienced when I was in the womb had manifest when I was born. The things that I could not understand that I had experienced that I had no control over. It kept me distant. It kept me ashamed until I began to express it. I am a single mother of 2 children. Society says that if you are a single mother, you are doomed for poverty. Statistically. I am not only a single mother with 1 baby daddy, should they say, but 2. Broken, ashamed, feeling less than. Who will want me? When I finally understood my purpose, that I was divinely made in his image. When I finally understood why I never fit in growing up. When I finally understood why I didn't go to all the parties that my friends went to. When I finally understood why I didn't take that trip that everybody was going to go on. When I stopped allowing people to tease me and make me feel bad about who I was and the things that I said no to. One thing I want to empower you women is that we're not supposed to fit in. I learned that the hard way. Something, Sharia, that you said that resonated in my spirit, and I want to affirm you, is manifestation of your words. That even in broken places, listen, this is the key right here. This is the key. Because it's not by happenstance that the Lord has called us to speak, and it's not by happenstance that everybody is going through their own personal turmoil in this moment. But what I will say is this, is that in your lowest of your lowest of your lowest, that's when he moves, y'all. When you have nothing left inside of you to give and the Lord calls you to grab somebody's hand to pray. When you have nothing left in you to give and the Lord causes you to feed the needy. This is how he operates. How dare you call me to speak and I'm broken? Just about 2 weeks ago, I lost one of the most important men in my life. Broken. But you call me to stand strong. He said, hold your head up. Why is it that he calls us in the lowest of the lowest? It's to reveal his glory. It's to reveal who he is inside of us. Because if we don't give him the glory in the broken place, then what we doing it for? If I can only praise him when I'm on the mountaintop, if I can only praise him when I got money in my pocket, if I can only praise him when things are looking good, that ain't how we operate. See, I serve a God that's going to test you. You got to praise him when you low. You got to praise him when your kids acting a fool. You got to praise him when the man walk out the door. You got to praise him when the job say goodbye. You got to praise him when you got to bury your loved ones dear to your heart. I empower you, Rabante. You have educated yourself, ma'am. That is something that nobody can take from you. So you don't sit here crying like you ain't got something waiting for you on the other side. God is testing you. Don't tell your mom again to pray. Open up your mouth and declare that your job is on the way. He's educated you. Nobody can ever take that from you. Everything that you went through, everything that you've been through brings you to this place, and now hold your head up high and be strong and know who you are. Know the impact that you're making on these youth, the impact that you're making on your daughters. That job is coming. That job is coming. How can it not? We serve a God that cannot lie. So you better know whose you are. In the storm, y'all, is my greatest victory. At my lowest is my greatest victory. As I begin to weep over my grandfather, broke my heart to this day. But I remember his words. I know what he planted inside of me. I come from good stock. Despite of my circumstances, despite of being a single mother of 2 at 39, despite of my trials and tribulations, God has set me up on a mountaintop. And he said, I called you to be different. I don't want you to fit in. What you experienced as a child was supposed to kill you. It was supposed to take your mind. See, I understand mental health. I understand that it's a fine line between sanity and insanity. I get it. And if I could be 100% honest with you, I have wanted to cross that line many of times. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't. But what keeps us? It's those broken places, y'all. If you at a broken place, that's a place to surrender. That's a good place. Count it joy to be broken by the Lord. Count it joy to be in turmoil and circumstances where you don't see the way out. That's when he gets the glory. See, he testing you. Do you believe me or do you believe yourself? Are you believing God or man? Because we can read that Bible every day and we can quote scriptures from the front to the back. But when it counts, do you trust him? We are going through some very challenging times now in our country. We are in the middle of a mental health crisis. And instead of talking about people, pray over our nation. Pray over our young people. I understand, young ladies, how it feels to want to fit in, to not feel like you enough, to not feel as pretty as those. I get it. I've been there. But I also understand the importance of speaking things out of my mouth. See, one thing that I'm good at, Sharia, is speaking and manifesting things into my life. See, I told the Lord 5 years ago, he must have dropped it in my spirit that I was going to be a millionaire. Not the baby mama of 2. My business did $3.5 million in 2023. I am the first millionaire on both sides, my mama's side and my daddy's side. I barely graduated from high school, y'all. Ladies, the Lord dropped a word in my spirit as I was doing my own thing. Not paying attention, doing my own thing, wanting to fit in, trying to find my way. He dropped a word in my spirit, and I ran with it. He trusted me in my broken place. You hear me? He came to me in my broken place. He didn't meet me at graduation day. It was when I barely had gas to make it to the school. It was when I was broken by myself, pregnant, sad, and crying both times. It's a village. One thing that I admire about my grandparents and just that generation, they understood the importance of the village. They understood the importance of it takes a village to raise a child. Right? And sometimes the village doesn't look like family. It don't have to be your family. The village can be your teacher. The village can be your mentor. The village can be your coach. The village can be your next door neighbor. Know who you are and know whose you are. Speaking with God and talking to God is just this. When I first started praying and realizing that God had gifted me, I understood the importance of my words, young ladies. So I correct myself. I'm not a baby mama. I'm not sad. I'm not broken. I am chosen for a purpose as this. And I speak things and I watch God manifest it. When people call you something that's not your name, send it back. Send it back. And when I tell you that he will get the glory, God will get the glory at your lowest. I've had some really bad news come within the last 2 weeks. Tore me up. Made me want to give up. Made me want to give up. And give up could look different for everybody. My give up may not be your give up. So don't try to think you know what my give up is. But in me, I know what give up look like. I had to call people that I knew that could pull on heaven. See, sometimes you got to silence voices around you because everybody talking don't need to talk. Everybody that you connected to and close to, sometimes you got to silence those voices. When I'm going through something real, I can't call my homegirl. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got to call somebody that can get a word to heaven because this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. And there's a generation behind me. My children are behind me and they're watching. I want you guys to know that who I am today is not who I thought I would become. That everything was against me, even in the womb. I didn't realize the things that affected me as a child until I became an adult. I forgot things that took place as a child. As a protective factor, let me forget about these traumas. And then they showed up when I was parenting. Being broken. But trusting God. That's the key. And when I'm talking to people, whether I'm at the school systems working with kids, or I'm at my business, or I'm dealing with my children, I always got to put God in the mix because there is nothing without him. So whether I'm speaking at the Kellogg Arena or I'm speaking at Claude Evans Park, I have to give him the glory. But I have to let you guys know that it's in those broken places that he gets the glory. And what you say out of your mouth, what you speak out of your mouth will manifest, good or bad. So I will say today I'm blessed. Although there's many things going on in my life today, you guys fill me up. This filled me up. This gave me the confidence that I needed to go on throughout my day. Because when God calls you to do something for other people, you don't always have what you need to do for yourself. And that's the point. That's the point. Do you trust him? And I'm going to charge y'all to this. I'm going to charge y'all to this. Mark my words, because when I say something, he got to stand on it, y'all. If you are in a broken place right now and you don't have the answers and you don't know what to do, give it to him. Sometimes you got to even make it more plainer for kids, because some kids be like, what that mean? Give it to them. That means, Lord, I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to say. And I don't know how I'm going to come out of this. And I'm afraid. But I need you. And I trust you. Keep my heart clean. Keep my heart clean. That's important, y'all. Keep my heart clean. Because if you're going to trust him, you got to have a clean heart. He ain't no nasty God. Keep my heart clean. And his word will manifest in your life. He's never failed me. So throughout my childhood, trauma, sadness, unforgiveness, melancholy. What is this, Lord? It's the thorn in my side. And he says, my grace is sufficient. So that means I got to function with this thorn, y'all. One of my hardest journeys in life is being a mother. It's so hard for me. Hardest journey of life. Because I felt like I never really got to be a kid because of my innocence was taken. But his grace is sufficient. My son ain't never been to jail. My son is graduating from high school. He's respectful for the most part. My daughter is beautiful in her spirit. The Lord has given me the grace to protect them. Sometimes you go through things so that you can overcome for the next person. So Lord, if you had to use me in that space, to God be the glory. If I had to suffer for your name's sake, it's okay. That we're going to trust him even in this moment where we don't understand. I put my faith in God, not the president, not Battle Creek Public Schools, not the business, but I put my trust in God. Radical faith means regardless if I got enough in my pocket, I'm going to give him glory. Radical faith means no matter what I experienced in my life, God is still good. Radical faith means if they close Battle Creek Public Schools down, you've educated me, so I know another job is coming. I can't be broke. I can't be in poverty. I can't be in lack. I can't go without. Radical faith. Radical faith. Radical faith. Radical faith. I'm a millionaire. Radical faith. Radical faith. Is y'all good? Radical faith. I lost my grandfather, but I got some radical faith. Radical faith. I'm a single mother, but my husband is coming. Radical faith. Radical faith. Pain in my body, I got radical faith. Diagnoses from the doctor, I got radical faith. Turmoil in my mind, I got radical faith. I want to crack some, but I got radical faith. I'm trusting God even when it's crazy looking, y'all. Trusting him, leaning on him. If all you do is open up your mouth and say, yes, Lord. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Anybody can celebrate with millions in their pocket? Anybody can be happy with millions in their pocket? Boy, you ain't got a dime. Radical faith.
I say everybody need to be up. Radical faith up in here. I say it's radical faith up in here. Radical faith. It's radical faith up in here. Woo. Radical faith. Thank you, Miss Ashley, for that word. So we did something that was kind of fun. I had challenged my speakers to see who could bring the most juice with bringing people in the seats. And the person that brought the most juice was Sharia Heath. Can you come up? And the second runner-up, I got something for her too. Rue, she didn't tell you about her competitors. She texted me. She says, "Am I in the lead or what? What's going on?" And I got something for you too in the back, Rue. I got something for Rue too, because I was like, okay, now they're gonna be throwing darts at me. Okay, we got one winner, but you know, but these ladies They knew a year ago about the sacrifice and about what needed to do this event. They were asked a year ago to be on this Women Empowerment Conference. So they committed for a whole year. So give my panel of 7 a round of applause. Did they deliver or what? So now what we're gonna do, we're not gonna answer all questions, but we wanna see if anybody from the audience wanna stand up to say something. The top 3, anybody wanna say comments or questions for us as the panels?
Ladies, I have enjoyed everything. I enjoyed your testimony. And wait a minute. If you have a cell, if you have a phone, can you pick it up? And if you got a camera, turn your camera on. That is looking at you. You gonna tell me you don't have a camera? You don't have a cell? Okay. What you see? What you see? And what I seen while you all was speaking, you are all God's masterpiece. You are all God's masterpiece. And if you don't know what that is, go home tonight and study the masterpiece. So beautiful, inside and out. Even the pain, the suffering, the joy, and the happiness. And the most important part about it, that God created all of us as a masterpiece. You are all God's apple of his eye. Always think that. Nothing less. Nothing less. You are God's masterpiece. He created you in his image. And everything that's inside of you is wonderfully made. Always think that. Never hold your head down. Always hold your head up. Walk like, hey, I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody.
That's my mama. So what we're getting ready to do now, I'm still thinking about that radical faith. So what we're gonna ask for this time, the mothers that were honored and co-pastor, we would like for you guys to come and grab your sunflower that were beautifully made from Winnie. What I do want to do, I can't say thank you enough to everybody for coming out supporting. I'm thanking all the people that's online that tuned in. I want to thank my beautiful media team for letting me have my way. I love you, Miss Brittany. I also want to thank everybody that came to support, that poured into it, that helped, did things. I can't name everybody off because it was, when they say a village, it was definitely a village behind this Women Empowerment Conference. So I'm thankful and forever grateful for my village. At this time, we're going to conclude it for people that would like to leave. We are going to open it up for prayer. If anybody wants prayer, they are able to come up at this time. I'm going to introduce, I want Ms. Cole Pastor to come up, please, and with her final remarks and dismiss us out and all of that. But if anybody wants prayer, stick around. If you don't, you are able to leave or take a picture. Shive, you can get pictures done up real quick if anybody wants a picture. Mothers, I do need a picture of all you guys solo, and I need one with you guys together. It's not optional. So, because they get a little rowdy sometimes, you know. If everybody could clap your hands for Miss Cole, Shannon, Latrice, Sweet.
What a blessing it is to be in the house of the Lord again and just to be able to witness and experience his goodness through these women who so graciously shared their testimony. And to tell where God has brung you from is not always easy, but I believe that God sets us up because it's necessary. And when we are able to empty out, it makes room for him to be able to do more. And so we are just looking for God to do more. We are looking for the more of God. And even being in this place and looking at that theme, and it was the rebirthing of a broken woman. When you rebirth, that means your womb is open. You have received the seed. You have germinated that destiny. You have germinated that vision and that purpose, and you are able to manifest it and put it out there. And so you have to know that God is giving you the power to keep going. Hallelujah. And I want to encourage you to not be fearful of your broken places, because there is a story in the Bible that talks about broken pieces. When Paul was on a ship and they was trying to get to the other side, before they could get to the other side, their ship was met by a storm, and it was broken pieces. And those broken pieces saved their life. They were able to hold on to a broken piece in order to float to the other side. So if you got to float to the other side, it is okay. Hallelujah. And just know that God does not throw away your broken pieces. He takes all of those broken pieces and put it back together and make you new all over again, so he can pour into you again. That's the kind of God we serve. What an awesome God we serve. And to be able to lift him up in this house and to hear those testimonies, we overcome by the word of our testimony. And so I am so grateful. Thank you, Kia, for having this event, inviting us all out here. And I'm just going to declare to you that the time we spent, as this was a lot of hours, but I declare that the time we spent is the vessel and the capsule and the capacity of what God's getting ready to pour into us. This was an investment. This was an investment right here. Hallelujah. We're not leaving the same, and we're making room for more. Say, I'm making room for more. And so thank you, daughter Kia. Now, what is it you want me to do? Oh.
Everybody's dismissed, but anybody want prayer, you're able to come up, but this concludes it.
This concludes it. If you want prayer, you are able to come up and we will pray with you.
Come here, Tupac. He's like,
Yeah. Jesus is real.
Jesus is real. I know the Lord is real to me.
Yeah. Sometimes feeling low, nowhere to go. Here comes along and it makes me real strong. Gee. He's real.